Hi, Neil.
Hi, Dipti. Good morning.
How are you?
I'm good. Just trying to set up a couple of things. You okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. I just logged in to see what's happening, and
I left it
you were
open
there.
for. I left it open so only the panelists can sit here.
Okay.
The last time
So it's
I
like
left.
4:30 our time, right?
Yeah, it's 4:30 our time. Yeah. So we have
Okay.
another two. I'm just gonna go and get my clothes ready and stuff like that. I'll be ready in like the next 15 minutes. I just left it on, just to see it so you guys can come in and sit here and talk to each other.
I didn't say once again.
No, all the panelists can come in. You can come in earlier and just chat with each other. The panelists. I mean, you're not.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I just made you a panelist, not to say you have any. I just made you a panelist so you don't have to be sitting in the audience. If you want, you know what I mean.
I
I didn't
understand.
really have a clear role, but it's like you're one of our partners. It's appropriate that you sit up here.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Okay, so I'll chat to you very
Always.
soon.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I just
Yeah,
peeped in to see
yeah,
what's
yeah.
happening.
And some
I
people
wasn't
come in early.
expecting you to be there.
Some people are gonna come in early, so you can when you come back on and chat to them.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Bye.
Okay. Bye bye, Dipti. Go to sleep. Go to sleep. My God. Go to sleep. My goodness, Ruby.
Newark and Bombay.
Oh, thank you so much, man. That's a great news. We are so excited for the project. Very, very excited.
Yeah, so he's like, I'm getting back and I'm, going to tweet about it, going to write about it on the consulate site. We're going to spread it across.
Nice.
I've heard so much about CUNY. It's just amazing what you guys are doing.
Thank you. Thank you. It wouldn't be possible without your leadership, your friendship, your support, and Paramitas and Neil. We are so excited to have you as not only as most important as a friend, but as a partner, and obviously the leadership of our president. I think he's going to join us soon.
Absolutely.
He went to get a cup of tea, Provost.
Got it. Okay.
Provost, let me introduce you because last time he was here, you were not in BCC. Mr. Gauranga Das, we call him Prabhu, and he is the leader of whole of ISKCON in Mumbai area.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. It's a pleasure connecting with all of you on behalf of Govardhan Ecovillage. I welcome all of you and thanks to Paramita and Neil for inviting me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So I think we still have about a minute to go.
Hello, Lester. How are you doing?
Hi, how are you? Good morning.
Right.
Good to see you.
Yeah, good to see you. I think one of our faculty, Dr. Skit, said he's in the waiting room.
Yes. And I see Sanjay. Hi, Sanjay. Good morning.
Ah, Derek.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning. Good morning.
Nice to see you.
Good morning.
I'm here.
Good morning, Derek.
Good. Neil, you're muted.
We also have a nice young student from India with us on the panel. She got on by my error. She's going to join us anyway on the panel.
Nice.
Nice.
Hi, Dishka. How you doing? Dishka is joining us on the panel from India. Hi, Dishka.
She's on mute.
Yeah, she's on mute. Yeah, she said, "What am I doing here? Oh my god!" Among all these.
Neil once invited me to a panel and put me in the audience list and said, "Where are you? You're next speaker." I said, "I cannot enter." So.
That's so great. So Yachin is gonna take us. Yachin will take us away on this to start. Yachin 8.
So we can start at 7 o'clock.
We give a couple more minutes. We have 140 participants so far. So they're coming in. Yeah, I
haven't seen Greg. Neil, is he on?
Greg.
No, I didn't see Greg also.
Yeah, I'll just gotta give him a call.
Yeah.
It's 9 o'clock. It's 9 o'clock in Australia, so I hope he's
not sleeping.
AM or 9 p.m.
9 p.m. 14 hours ahead of us. So let me give him a quick call, but he should be fine.
Look at the beauty of technology, right? India, New York,
exactly.
Australia. There's Canada, there's Trinidad and Tobago here.
I think from Dipti school, somebody is, messaging. Okay.
Good morning, Dr. Monroe.
Good morning, Aaron.
Dr. Monroe is here too.
Yeah, Dr. Monroe, yeah.
Hi, Dr. Monroe. How you doing? Welcome to PCC. Welcome to CUNY.
Good morning, Dr. Monroe. Welcome to CUNY.
We have Sparkle here. Faith Sparkle's our valedictorian from BCC, now at Cornell University. Hi, Sparkle. Yes, hi, Faith is there too. Okay.
Hey, we see some very familiar faces. Faith, Sparkle, it was amazing having you. We still remember.
We have Dr. Kim Holland is here from the CUNY Central Office, Study Abroad Office, Head of Study Abroad. Dr. Holland.
How are you, sir? Where are you?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Oh, there you are.
So Neil, how will it go? Like the introduction, and then when our presidents and other leaders are going to speak, like we say a word or we welcome them?
Yeah, the program's right there, Paramita. It's like
Program's there.
No, I saw the program, but
yeah, this is a program.
no, I say welcome note. Somebody is going to, welcome them, like Mr. Das, Gauranga Das, and.
Don't worry,
So
Neil. Neil will run this.
Why don't you start with the introductory remark?
Are you coming on? Yeah, sorry. What's going on, Greg in Australia?
We almost hit the 200 participants. Yeah, actually, we did it right now.
Yeah, good.
Yeah,
Awesome.
we crossed. We are going back and forth 200. Yes.
Wow.
Morning,
So-
everyone. Morning, Neil.
Hi, good morning, Dr. Hans. How are you doing, Dr. Hans?
Hi.
Morning.
Good morning, Dr. Rupalo. Good morning, Yachini.
Morning, Sunej. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Very well, thank you.
He actually finally took a shave. He said he
Oh,
finally
yeah.
shaved. He said once he beat the he's gonna shave once he beat the pandemic. So I guess
Oh.
I hope he did it actually. I hope he beat the pandemic. Anyway, so but Yashneet, you want to start off the proceedings with Yashneet? Yashneet? Is he frozen?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Well, welcome to everyone. This is a great honor to be here with all these distinguished, guests and panelists, and also attendees as well. This is a great. It's a long journey. It's a yatra, and this is on a very auspicious day in India as well. This is Mahatma Gandhi's birthday, so we're very happy to be here. All of us from India, CUNY as well. CUNY is a country, so we said CUNY is a country, right? So CUNY. We have Australia, we have Trinidad, Tobago, Canada is in the house, Dominican Republic, I'm sure, many other countries are here. And this just shows the collaborative nature of CUNY and the partnership that we have built. And it has come with a lot of support, and you'll hear from our leaders, presidents are all here, so you'll hear from them, and the provosts are here. So I want to give pass this one to Paramita Sen to give us some words as well, introductory words. Professor Sen has been on a journey. Well, first of all, I should take a step back. Bronx has done a lot of study abroad in Spain. We went to Spain in 2018. We did a lot of work there with our backpack weather stations. We have wires sticking out from our backs, and the security is very scared but we are scientists, we said we are scientists, don't get scared. We did great work in Mallorca, Spain. We went to Australia, next 6 months later. We did a lot of work in Australia. We even had Greg said, can you train our staff on how to use these things you have there, these backpack weather stations? We did that, and Greg is a good friend of ours in Townsville, Australia. They have won a Smart City Award from IBM. So it was very collaborative, and they did. Then Paramita said, Neil, why are you biased towards India? Why don't you go to India? Why can't we come to India? So, and you know something, we went to India and we never left. We're still in India right now. That's what, when you go to India, you never leave. So Paramita, I'm gonna give you some, pass the floor on to you, Paramita. Tell us about India.
Oh, okay. Actually, it's 2nd of October. It's a great day for India, for the world, I will say, because it's a birthday for a great leader, Mahatma Gandhi, who is called the transformational leader, and who, along with the authentic leadership of Nelson Mandela and the serving leadership of Mother Teresa, has changed the world for us. So it's a great day for us. We have stayed in India. I mean, yes, the journey started. I told Neil, let's go to India. And then we got introduced to GEV through Indian Consulate. And our President, Sekinegbi, who is always an source of inspiration. So he agreed to the program, and we all went to GEV. And
he funded it. That's one important. He funded it. He funded it.
Yes, absolutely. Yes, and that 2 weeks actually transformed many of us. Even I saw Sparkle, who spoke about the India trip in her valedictorian speech. So we saw that how we can live in harmony with the nature. And that's the essence of today's webinar. We will talk about sustainability, that yes, it is possible for us. With 7.4 billion people in the world, we talk about all the artificial, synthetic fertilizer, pesticides, or we are thinking of different things, but still we can strive together to live in harmony with nature. That's this study abroad actually opened our mind. So I'll pass it to Yachneet if you can say a few words, if he's not frozen still now.
No, I'm okay. Yeah. So thank you, everyone. Yes, I'm really, really grateful to Govardhan Ecovillage to give me the opportunity to represent them all over the world. It's not only an honor, but it's a feeling which cannot be expressed in words. And I think this journey started when I met the Consul General, and I showed him and I told him what Govardhan Ecovillage and what the entire movement stood for. And in 1 minute, he said, if you talk about building communities and you talk about transformation of hearts, you need to come to me. You need to come with me tomorrow. And I said, Excellency, where are we going? He said, I'm going to take you to where people are getting changed and transformed. Let's go to CUNY. So I said, sure. And I wasn't invited for a talk. And it was the same time 2 years ago, Mahatma Gandhi's birthday. Remember, Paramita? And I met President Second Ekbe. It was just so amazing. It was an instant bond, and we connected, and it felt like as if, you know, there was an instant this thing between each one of us. And when I told him that it's all about, you know, it's not just about sustainability, it's about transformation. And instantly he said, you know what, they were planning somewhere else. They said, go to GEV. And Parimita was like, wow, you know, I've been talking and pushing, and it's just suddenly happened. So thank you all. It's just been a great honor. And now I pass it on to, I think, Derek, who was part of the entire team. So if Derek can give a few words as well.
Thank you to everyone. Good morning to everyone. And I must say that it was indeed a pleasure, you know, visiting India. Thank you, Gauranga Das, for having us at the Ecovillage. And this was an eye-opener for students, for our students in particular, because for most of them, they've never been to the east. And it was a great pleasure because they took pleasure in the effort, they took pleasure in what we were involved in India. And of course, planting trees, visiting sites, hiking, of course, which was quite interesting. But all in all, we were able to make some contribution. And of course, most of all, the weather station set up there in India. So the students had fun, they enjoyed themselves, and it was truly an eye-opener from a cultural perspective, a social perspective, and also an educational perspective. We do hope then that this engagement can continue beyond just a visit, and of course to become institutionalized throughout the university, the City University of New York, so that more students would have an opportunity to participate in events like this, because it truly was an eye-opener, and we believe that there's a lot that can happen through this relationship that we feel can continue throughout. Thank you to the leaders who are on this call right now, who supported our students throughout the university. So we want to say thank you for that. And as we continue to build, we want to see this as an establishment, not just a one-off event.
Thank you, Derek. Is Greg on? Greg?
I don't think so.
Okay, Greg is logging in from Australia at some point in time. Suna, do you want to say a couple words? We had to take part in this. You come into the journey late, but still, you're part of the journey also, this new part of the journey.
Thank you, Neil. Yeah, so my name is Professor Sunej Hans. I'm associate professor at Bronx Community College. And I learned about this through Paramita and Neil and also the students when they came back. And I saw the pictures. It was quite motivating how much work GEV doing there to sustainability and also to the community. I was really amazed. So I'm looking forward to visiting GEV in the near future. I don't know when, but whenever I get chance, yes, definitely. Thank you, Neil. Thank you, Paramita, for giving me opportunity to be part of this.
Thank you, Sunaj.
Thank you.
Actually, you want to lead us into Dr. Das?
Yes, so I think I would request the person who's built GEV brick by brick to do the welcome note. I invite Gauranga Das, who's also the president and one of the main founders of GEV, the concept. Of course, it goes to our spiritual guru, but he's been there from day one. And he might look like a monk, but he is graduated from the top schools of India, of the world rather, from IIT Bombay. So over to you, Prabhuji.
Thank you very much, CUNY, for welcoming me, inviting me, and being part of this wonderful collaboration. My thoughts are to that day when there was a heavy rainfall and storm, and Govardhan Ecovillage was like an island surrounded by water. And I somehow managed to make it because Yachinit was very much pushing that I should be there. And I was glad that I made it because that was the only day I could meet Neil, Paramita, and the students there because they were leaving the day after. So thank you so much for braving the monsoons in India and bringing your students and giving them an authentic Indian experience. Because when you least expect certain things to happen, and then you face those challenges, that brings out the best within you. So I was, all our team members here at Ecovillage were very impressed to see the character, the mettle, the kind of training which all the students had received at CUNY, which made them face adversity with a great degree of composure and maturity. So those were my first impressions about CUNY. When I met them, it was on the day of the biggest storm we have faced, and I was pretty impressed. Now, coming back to Gandhi Jayanti and India. So America is the largest country in the world with the English speaking population. And the second largest number of people in the world which have English as who can understand English is India, with 8% of the population of India, which is around 100 million. So therefore, this makes India very uniquely situated in terms of the communication in the English language. As far as Indian industries are concerned, 93% of Indian industries are in micro, medium, small enterprises. And therefore, one of the greatest push which the Indian government is going to be making in this coming 2 decades is on developing skills. And so we find that India leads the world in terms of soft skills like yoga, Sanskrit, Ayurveda, wisdom, and culture. But the fact is that India is the youngest country in the whole world, with 71% of India, which is around 840 million people, have an age less than 35 years. India is growing at the rate of 28 million people every year being born, 10 million people dying every year. So we have a growth rate of 1.6% per year. But one of the most challenging situations in India is the state of the current education, the way it is laid out. From K to 12 in India, we have a dropout rate of 88% going into college, and only 12% of the students in the first to 12th standard enter into college. So therefore, the 12th standard in India is known as the education line of control. And therefore, moving forward, I think one of the greatest focus areas would be on vocation and skills. And India has a lot of engineers and MBAs, but in terms of skilled carpenters, plumbers, drivers, repairmen, we do not have of that standard. Only one area India has cracked with respect to skill and vocation training is the IT, information and technology, where we have 80,000 IT training centers all across India. So software technology, it comprises only 2.5% of the global GDP, but it comprises 5% of India's GDP. But one of the very worrying features is the number of unemployed in India, which is around 300 million. And only 44 million are registered in the actual employment exchange. And therefore, the government alone is quite helpless to tackle this situation. So a nexus between the government bureaucracy, the corporates, and the NGOs, the non-governmental organizations, this is going to be the future, how the landscape in India is going to be transformed. And therefore, if we see overall the situation in India, it has transformed rapidly over the last several years. And therefore, with respect to our understanding of the UN SDGs, we have been trying our level best to somehow connect through our initiatives at the Govardhan Ecovillage. And therefore, the first goal of the UN SDG is no poverty, to eradicate poverty. So the rural development program, through the symbiotically enhanced Wadi program, where we are trying to remove the farmer distress through our farm and organic farming, that's a very important feature. The second goal of the UN SDG is eradicating hunger, and we are having everyday free food distribution program. And through this, we are reaching out to the lowest and the most underprivileged who are without food. Through our rural health campaigns, we are contributing to the third SDG, which is good health and well-being. And we have an excellent rural education program where we go out to more than 75 different villages and we are present in those schools, and we are trying to arrest the 60% school dropout rate, which is currently prevalent in Maharashtra. Then we have a very important women empowerment program, which Parimita ji and Neil have seen. And, you know, the fifth element of the SDG is gender equality. And we are trying to train these women in all kinds of various skills which they can learn, and they can also create various products which they can sell. GV Ecovillage has been very prominent for water conservation, and therefore the sixth SDG for clean water and sanitation through our hydrogeological survey and through the soil biotechnology plant, about which I think Nimalila Prabhu is going to speak more about. We are trying to contribute through an integrated water conservation approach. The seventh SDG is for energy, and we have what is known as our solar, and along with that we have other alternatives energies sources like the biogas plant. And we had a very interesting animal driven prime mover where using the bull we could pull out the water from underneath. Then for decent work and economic growth, we have what is known as our skill development center, where we are training at least 30 youth every year in getting skilled in more than 75 trades. And through this, we are trying to fulfill Gandhiji's dream of making the villages self-sufficient and self-reliant. The goal 9 of the SDGs is industry, innovation, and infrastructure. And through this, our green buildings, with our compressed stabilized earth blocks, we have created more than 400,000 mud blocks. And with all of this, we are actually trying to create innovation and infrastructure which is green. And therefore, we want to reduce inequalities by having every villager being also trained who's coming in the principles of tourism, because there is no better equalizer than tourism, which connects cultures. India having more than 22 states and 2,600 dialects, it's a great place to explore. And therefore we got the UN award for United Nations World Tourism Organization award for ecotourism as a catalyst for rural development. And through this, we are trying to reduce the inequality between the village and the cities. The 11th SDG speaks about sustainable cities and communities. And so we have an excellent cultural heritage recreated of 500 years ago, known as the Vrindavan Forest. And we also have a Bhaktivedanta Research Center where we are trying to preserve our culture and tradition. Then we have responsible consumption and production as the 12th UN SDG goal. This goal is very important because as we see that people's consumption patterns are going out of control, through our yoga school, Govardhan School of Yoga and Govardhan School of Ayurveda, we are trying to share with people the techniques, the methods by which they can grow and improve their own self-control. Distraction is affecting more than 1 billion people across the whole world, and therefore how we can actually improve people's focus. Then 13th goal is climate action. And so as part of the climate action, we are organizing conferences, various kinds of interactive dialogues, and these kind of collaborations to bring people's attention to how we can arrest the climate change. Life below water is what I would say is connected to the biofertilizers and insecticides which we create with cow dung and cow urine based fertilizers, which are perfectly natural. They do not pollute the aquifers. And second most important pollutant in marine life is plastic. And Mr. Ganga Narayan Das is going to speak about our intervention in protecting life below water through the plastic pyrolysis plant. We have an excellent biodiversity hotspot, and through this biodiversity, we have tried to attract varieties of birds and butterflies and recreate an entire biodiversity park. And so life on land, the goal 15 of UN, we have attempted in our very small way to somehow conserve. The 16th goal of United Nations SDGs is peace, justice, and strong institutions. So as a community, we have people who are PhDs and we have people who are illiterate, and we provide equal opportunities for everybody in our community to worship Krishna, to sing songs and be part of the choir and be part of all of our cultural initiatives. So Govardhan Ecovillage brings together people of various backgrounds, communities, and during the seasons when the tourists are visiting from across America, Europe, Australia, across all kinds of communities. So we are focused on a community-based approach. And therefore, the 17th and the last UN SDG is Partnership for the Goals. And we are a United Nations Environment Program accredited NGO. We are very soon going to become part of UN ECOSOC. And thanks to the efforts of Yachnit, we are now also reaching out to various college campuses across America and rolling out the red carpet so that you can come here, walk on the red carpet and experience the green experience at the Govardhan Ecovillage. Thank you very much, Neil and Parimita and honorable presidents who are present in today's presentation to give me an opportunity to share something with you on the occasion of Gandhiji's birthday. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much, Prabhu. Thank you. That was such a, enlightening speech. And definitely the students will share their experience in Ecovillage. And I still remember when Derek came back from the trip, he said, I went as a visitor and came back as a citizen. So yes, we are all bonded to the activities and to the heart of Ecovillage. So who is next? Yes, thank you very much.
We're gonna
Greg came back on.
So we're gonna have President. Just gonna pass it on to President. We'll come to Greg after. So we want to introduce you to President Esther Kenegbe, who's a warrior for us and a big supporter. The biggest supporter. Oh, we have a lot of big supporters. One of the biggest supporters of all our programs and our students, most of all. And we like to thank him for all the support, and we like to pass the floor on to him. President. President.
He might having some technical issues.
Okay. Provost, you want to say some words for and on his behalf in the interim?
Yes. Thank you so much.
Mr. Palu has become a part of this journey also. Very short. He has joined CUNY, BCC for like few months back, but he's always supporting us with all our initiatives. Yes.
Thank you so much, Paramita. I'm so excited for this great opportunity. I was mentioning earlier that through technology, we're able to connect different cultures and countries from India to Trinidad and Tobago, Australia, United States, New York. And this speaks of the commitment that CUNY has. As you know, CUNY embodies in diversity in every way, shape, or form. And thanks to the leadership of our campus president, Thomas Ekenegbe, our chancellor, Felix Matos, and the great work, excellent work, I must add, of Paramita, Dr. Neil, our colleague and friend, Jatni. Thank you so much with the Ecovillage. I remember everything starting, at least for me, with a nice meal of Indian food at Paramita's household. So I'm so excited for this opportunity to discuss the different sustainable goals that we have and for this partnership. Bronx Community College, as you know, represent more than 100 different nations, more than 40 languages. So our commitment to diversity from student body to faculty, it's very present, and we are nature. We love our diversity, and we are so excited for this partnership with not only India, with Australia, to make not only a more global citizen or student, but to strengthen our relationship and bring education to a new height that is affordable and sustainable. And just to piggyback on the SDG 4, which is quality of education, that's what CUNY stands for. And we're so excited for this new endeavor. Thank you so much, Paramita and Neil.
Thank you, thank you. As President.
Other leaders with the great vision. Is President Sekenegbe on? No.
We'll get him, he'll come on.
Yeah, so we have President Monroe from BMCC. We'd love to have him share some of his words with us.
Thank you very much, and good day to each and every one of you. Thank you for inviting me to speak with you on this very important occasion. I want to congratulate you for continuing to bring the integration of sustainable design and management to the forefront of this discussion, and for recognizing the collaborative work of CUNY and the India Study Abroad program. As many of you know, our current world is in dire need of more opportunities to explore how institutions, businesses, and corporations can adopt and adapt to more environmentally friendly and sustainable practices for the betterment of our planet. The exchange of ideas and innovation are key to building collaborative partnerships to improve and enhance how we live, work, and learn. I'm proud to be president of an institution that understands the importance of sustainability. Borough of Manhattan Community College is aware of the critical role it plays in the region's ecology and is committed to integrating sustainability into the design and management of our vast physical campus and its operations. However, to exercise genuine leadership in this area, BMCC recognizes it must also weave sustainability awareness into the fabric of college life by integrating it into its core activities of teaching, research, and outreach. BMC's efforts are aimed at dramatically increasing the capabilities of the communities we serve, both local, regional, and global, to understand and address the challenges and opportunities of sustainability. Reducing our carbon footprint is a valid goal. However, BMC's greatest impact on sustainability will be to inspire a new generation of responsible global citizens. BMCC has a college-wide committee on sustainability, which helps to promote sound ecological practices among departments, educate students about sustainability issues, encourage faculty to integrate sustainability into curriculum, and serve as a practical outline for identifying and integrating these activities in a comprehensive strategy that is aligned with the college's master plan. BMCC is always looking for opportunities to collaborate and partner and explore with other institutions and groups to find solutions to environmental and global issues. I invite you all to connect with BMCC and learn about our efforts by visiting our website and searching for sustainability. This particular conference is critically important as it will highlight sustainability efforts undertaken to improve our world and our globe. So in recognition of the tremendous work that you have done thus far, I look forward to learning more about this program, opportunities that BMCC can partner and support these initiatives. And I want to thank you for your strong leadership. Thank you all for your strong leadership in this very important endeavor. And I want to thank Sanjay Ramdath for bringing this initiative to my attention. Again, thank you for inviting me to speak today and congratulations on your hard work.
Thank you so much, President. We have President Sekenek Bey. Oh, thank you.
I'm laughing because what will go wrong will go wrong. I logged in earlier on, then all of a sudden I was cut off. I could hear all of everybody speak, but I couldn't speak. And even my video and everything went off. Neil, I want to say thank you for putting me back on. And
it's okay, President.
What a great and wonderful morning to begin the day with all of the panelists. I want to say good morning to all of our participants from the United States. And I think it's evening in Australia and India. So I want to say good evening to all of our friends and participants from India and Australia. You know, every journey begins with a single step. This was a journey that began a long time ago with our collaboration with the Indian Consulate. The former Consul General here is a great friend of BCC. And in fact, we have an Indian corner in our library, which was Paramita. I want to say thank you. Neil, I also want to say thank you. You know, when you have a conversation and the conversation sort of metamorphoses into different stuff, this is where we are today. From the conversation with the Consul General and from the conversation with Paramita, and again, from the launch with the Consul General, we started exploring ideas. How can we collaborate with India as a country? And how can we work with the consulate here to really expose the students of BCC to bigger things in the world? I don't know how much you know about BCC. 98% of our students are from our local Bronx community. Manhattan to them is like another country away. And thanks to the effort of Neil, we've been able to take our students to visit other countries to really expose them to different things around the world here. And precisely what has come out of our collaboration with the consulate is the visit last summer to India. We took about 20 students to India. Most of them came back really excited about the world and willing to do things here. Yashnet and all of the people from the Ecovillage, I want to say thank you for giving our students the opportunity to really learn more about the world, to know that there's more beyond Bronx Community College. And I think the seminar today, the webinar we're having this morning, is again, it's a vindication of that. Even though we're in difficult times, we're not able to leave our houses, what a wonderful thing can technology do for us to bring all of us together here. I see about 254 participants on the screen. What a wonderful thing to do. So I just want to say on behalf of our faculty, on behalf of all of our students, I want to say thank you for giving our students the opportunity here to participate. I think we've taken the first steps. We need to build on our success from the past year, really. Hopefully, we'll go back to some sort of normal someday, and hopefully we can take our students back to the village really here and explore and bring things back to the United States to see on how we can really do that. You know, although people look at the world as a small place, as a big place, really it's a small world, because what happens in the United States affects what happens in India. What happens in India affects what happens in the United States. So what a wonderful way for both countries, for both students of our nations to really participate and work collaboratively together. I'm looking forward to hearing more. In fact, I can't wait. I was supposed to go to India this summer, but I think I have a rain check for next summer or for summer whenever things get back to normal here. So have a wonderful deliberation this morning, and thank you for having me on. Neil and Paramita, thank you. I think we can do more. So I'm looking forward to providing all the support that I can. Thank you very, very much to both of you.
Thank you, President. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much, yes.
Next in the program, we have Provost Okereke from Medgar College.
Yeah, thank you, Neil, and good morning to everyone, or good evening. Medgar is so pleased, with this relationship which CUNY, Townsville, and the India, has built. Through our Medgar Evers Environmental Science Department, we are kind of leading in this initiative. I just want to say that this initiative is so crucial for us. Crucial in the sense that, as a minority serving institution, you know that every disaster, environmental, health, the pandemic, impacts people of color so much, impacts minorities. Every disaster, we seem to be at the receiving end of that. And so it's so important that we participate in this initiative, in this endeavor to help climate change. Climate change is a serious issue all over the world. It's impacting the world and it's impacting people, minorities so much, that we have to be part of an initiative that resolves that. So be it water pollution, climate change, we are so pleased that our students are in the forefront of this. Just want to give shout out to our two students who went to India, Kamal and Noshka, last year. And we are so pleased, that they have learned this. And for them, this is an eye-opener. This is transformative. Leaving Brooklyn, leaving Manhattan, leaving the Bronx, and going all the way to India. I have not been. I want to be to India too. But for
we need a big plane. We need a huge plane for everybody, I think. Yeah.
Thank you. And for our students to experience this, that is so great, so important. And I believe that transformation will carry them as they graduate and as they venture into the world. And as a result, I'm here, representing President Kru. He is so, study abroad, international education, globalization is so important to him. And he has put in resources for this to work. And we pledge our support, our commitment to ensuring that the endeavor succeeds. And I just want to thank Derek Skit here. Derek is the people's person. So that's why he's wanting the citizenship from India. He has been leading our efforts here and, leading the students and mentoring the students. So once again, thank you. This is a very, very important initiative that we all should make sure that it never falters, and we continue to support that. Thank you again.
Thank you, Provost, very much. Appreciate it. Appreciate all the help from Medgar Evers College.
We have a huge role to play next year after the COVID to take all of us to India.
Need a big plane, Yashnet. C-140 transport. Thank you again. Thank you. Next, I want to welcome Dean. Next, I want to bring in Dean Miller. Dion?
Did you cut him off again? Because I was cut off. Are you sure he's still on?
She was on earlier. We can go to the next person.
Kim Holland. We have Dr. Kim Holland from the Study Abroad program.
Good morning. Thank you, Professor Zen. Thank you, Professor Philip and Professor Zen, for organizing this event, which is so exciting. And good day, everyone, whatever time zone you are in. I'd just like to say how pleased I am that at this moment, when our students and faculty are wondering when opportunities like these will open up to them again, that you're using this time to discuss the value of programs like these and to share the process of how you worked together with your international partners to develop this particular project. So since I work with all of the community campuses, I think it's important to note that Bronx Community College is a real standout in at least two key ways. The first is its commitment to access, which it truly backs up with the financial resources needed to ensure that its students can have these opportunities. And the second is its program's commitment to academic rigor and to authentic engagement with its host communities. And that's true for this program, but it's also true for its offerings in Austria, Belize, England, Senegal, and Spain, all of which are very unique and deserve a look just like this program is getting today. So I am really looking forward to learning some best practices today to share with other campuses throughout the CUNY system. And with that, I would like to pass the virtual microphone back to Professor Sen.
Yes, now we will.
Professor Sen, Dean Miller is back on. Dean Miller is back here.
Yes.
Dean Miller from LaGuardia. I mean, we asked Dean, we want to be collaborative in this effort. We talked to Dean, McGivers College, other schools as well. And Dean Miller is a fighter. She didn't have the funds at the time, but she never stopped fighting for the funds. And she was so happy. She said, Neil, I got the money. She's scholarship. So Dion, we are happy to have you in LaGuardia to participate in this endeavor. It's great to have you guys.
Good morning, everyone. I am really, and good afternoon and good evening. I must remember we have panelists from all the different time zones. Thank you very much for inviting me to give a few words, Neil. I in particular was really happy to be able to have a student participate in the study abroad to India. Neil says I never gave up, but it must have been that he rubbed off on me. I want to really thank Neil and his team for their vision and really his just boundless enthusiasm and can-do spirit. And that sort of must have inspired me to say, yes, we have to figure out a way to get this done. LaGuardia's mission includes a statement that says we want to create socially responsible citizens. And our student, Nirmala Govinda, was a senior student in our environmental studies program. She'd already been conducting environmental research. And so this was really going to be a great experience for her. But not only professionally was it a life-changing experience. And when I say life-changing in the best possible way, it was also important because she has cultural and ethnic roots in India as well. And I know that was really meaningful to her to be able to experience India for herself and to be able to share that with her family. So on so many different levels, this type of experience is so enriching for our students' lives. And I was just really happy we could give it to her. And, I hope as we go forward that we will be able to do this for more and more students. So once again, I want to thank Neil and his team and the team in India for the really incredibly important work that you are doing. And we look forward to supporting that. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dean Miller. Thank you very much. And before we have a big program, but we just want to make Greg Bruce is a partner from 2012 from Australia, ex-military, very good friend of BCC, always travels to Spain, hosted us in Australia in 2018, myself, Dr. Skeet, and students, and even paid for the students. He paid for the students out of their funds in Townsville, so he's a very good friend of our college. So Greg, we want to say hi in Australia. I hope you have no snakes in the backyard, Greg. Greg has 40-foot pythons in the back there sometimes.
And no snakes today.
Okay.
But everyone's welcome to come and sit in a barbecue in the back garden and wait. So it's a great honor and privilege to be connected into CUNY and the Bronx and all the different colleges. It was a great honor for me to travel with you guys there. It's been an honor for us to have Neil come twice to Townsville and Derek come over to Townsville. And a few of the students have come as well. And but for me, I am a fairly frequent visitor to the Bronx and hope to return to the city of New York and all the campuses. I enjoy speaking with everyone there and sharing ideas. I think the privilege that got created for me in going to GEV was multifaceted in that I love India. I've been to India quite a few times before, but I got to travel with a multicultural society from New York that all come from the Caribbean, South America, and I think only maybe one, if we were lucky, actually came from the United States. And I think that's the thing I find special about the CUNY system is there's so much cultural diversity and not necessarily people who have a lot of funds and their families put together their funds so that they can go to school and university and college. I think the other connective tissue was the GEV myself. I grew up with Hare Krishnas, and I must admit that most people find them a bit annoying wandering the streets singing Hare Hare Krishna all the time. And I never understood what they were doing. And now I have a deeper insight into where my own philosophy and spirituality has been both connected and transformed by going with the City University of New York and Neil and Paramita and Derek and connecting up with this 5,000-year-old tradition that now understands brain science perhaps better than brain scientists do, and understands the quantum field and the universality of life. And I think I've read that the greatest gift of India to the world is both from Sanskrit and Ayurveda and yoga is the gift of understanding universality through yoga. I've always meditated. I've spent 30 years meditating. But I haven't really participated in yoga until I went to GEV, and my partner does a lot of yoga. She also is off-night caring for elderly in a people's home. So she's very keen to return to GEV. I think the nexus point of spirituality and sustainability and resilience is centered on GEV in India and also in New York, in CUNY. And I think, and if Townsville in Australia, in our objective to become a sustainable destination, can be part of that shared journey and collectively working with school kids from India and also GEV and CUNY, that is tremendous. And so I take my hat off to you guys. I admire you all. I think you're all fabulous, and I appreciate what you're doing for sustainability and resilience on the planet. Thank you.
Thank you, Greg. Great speech. Greg is an ex-military, very resilient, tough person, and good friend of ours, and good friend of Bronx and CUNY. So thank you, Greg. And next on the program, we don't have Mr. Nicholas Novak, but when we were in India, they were tweeting about our team, what we're doing in India. It was tweeted by the Consul General of India as well. So the team was very highly publicized. So just want to say again, we have some great students. Again, we didn't talk about your college, but your college is also a great supporter of us. And, you know, we have the former provost there, Provost Maltius. Dr. Maltius was a former chair of Bronx Community College chemistry department as well. We had two students Hemwati Ramprasad and Wilkins Ferder. So they were great there as well. As Hemwati is one of our panelists, and you'll hear from her later on. So the next item here is going to be, we jump into the pyrolysis. We have, again, a full program for you. We have talk about pyrolysis. We can talk about organic farming, water circuitry, weather stations, UNSEG, and we're gonna have, everybody's waiting for this. I know Provost Rappel has his yoga mat already. Yoga, we have a yoga session as well, right, Provost?
Yes, I'm ready.
I know you're ready for that, okay. So I'd like to pass it on to Dr. Hans and Dr. Skeet, and let's see, one more person on TV. And also Prabhuza as well from GEV to talk about pyrolysis. Dr. Hans, Dr. Skeet, and Prabhu.
Yeah, good morning.
Yes,
everyone.
yes.
Good morning.
All right. So our topic of this presentation today is pyrolysis, and it's a great initiative by between GOV and India. And today is me, Sunil, Derek, and Garangar Narayan Das. We put together this small presentation. So GEV actually will show the small power plant they have in the center after this short presentation. On next slide. Derek?
Yes. Okay. So as we use the word pyrolysis, we want to give some perspective to where it came from, the origination. So pyro, which is Greek, means fire, and lysis means separation. So when it comes to pyrolysis, talk about the decomposition of organic material with the absence of oxygen. And of course, you can use biomass or plastic. And we choose to focus on plastic in particular because GV's pyrolysis plant focuses on plastic. So, and of course, why plastic? Because plastic is a major problem for us in our global village. In fact, by 1950, literally, we had very little plastic production in the world. But now, fast forward some 70 years later, we produce roughly close to 400 million tons of plastic. Now, this is a problem because where does a lot of the plastic end up? It ends up in the ocean. And of course, that is a big problem for us. And I mean, I gotta say that thanks to Governor Newsom here in California, in addressing the issue of plastic, what he did is that he wrote into law the first law, which is requiring beverage companies to literally recycle 50% of the recyclable plastic by 2022, 25% by 2030, and of course 50% 5 years later. And so we think that's a great initiative. Now, the problem with the plastic is the fact then that you have the ocean, aquatic species that are affected by it. In fact, in the ocean, there's roughly 8 million tons of plastic in the ocean at any given point in time, which is a lot of marine debris. And of course, a lot of this derelict fishing nets that we get from fishermen, as the case would be, and of course other forms of plastic like straws and plastic waste, plastic bags in particular, which does not degrade. And as a result of that, some of it ends up in the very food that we consume, the fish, for example, because you have a lot of what we call microplastic or micro debris, in which sometimes the fish themselves, they mistake it for food, and then it becomes a problem for them and also a problem for us. At the same time, we also have some of the microbeads, for example, in some of the products that we purchase. We buy toothpaste, we buy lotions, we buy face wash, etc. And they do have microplastic in those things. So if anything else, what I want to say about this issue here is that we have a responsibility as well to sort of address this issue, not just from a public policy perspective, but also from our purchasing practices. And I think that we have to make that choice to avoid using plastic as much as we can, simply because we know then that most of it ends up in the ocean. And at the same time, we are saying then that there are initiatives to address the problem, but it's simply not enough because of the amount of plastic that finds its way into our environment. In fact, most of the plastic that's in our environment comes from the packaging industry. We see you purchase one product, it's wrapped in 3 and 4 layers of plastic, and of course, what do we do with it? We throw it away. So, Dr. Hans?
Yes, hi. Yeah, so thanks to pyrolysis process that we can eliminate some of the plastic waste. So the starting material for any plastic is like, for example, styrene, polypropylene. If we do polymerization, we can make a compounds like complex compound like polystyrene, polypropylene, and polyethylene. And these are the compounds which make up the plastic. Different type of plastic. We have low density polypropylene, we have high density polypropylene. And once it's passed through the pyrolysis process, which is done at higher temperature under pressure. So it decomposes, it does a thermal degradation of the long carbon chain and complex into a smaller molecule. For example, the polystyrene can give us benzene or toluene, and then polypropylene can lead us to many different smaller carbon chains in alkenes, or maybe some mixture of alkene. So that's how we can generate. But again, this can be at the end used to make diesel and biochar. So it has many outputs afterward. So for the advantage, it's a simple and inexpensive process for the feedstock. So as Derek mentioned before, it's not only for plastic, can be used for many other compound, for example, for the bio waste and for other things too. And it reduces the waste and for the pollution, and it also reduce the waste into the water. So as Derek mentioned too, a lot of plastic end up in the ocean, which is not good for the creatures in the ocean. It's a great source of energy, and installation of the pilot plant of the pyrolysis could be small scale at a lab scale, or could be a large one, but it's not so complicated. Go on, Derek.
I would say that on some of the factors that influence the pyrolysis process, we have temperature, we have material decomposition, we have physical structure and residence time. So of course, those in combination will sort of influence the pyrolysis process. And of course, I've been at GV and saw their pyrolysis process. And I gotta say, I was very pleased about it. Now, as my colleague mentioned, in terms of one of the advantages of the pyrolysis in particular is the biochar, which is one of the byproducts that you get from it. And biochar is a nutrient, a soil nutrient. Biochar is also, it acts as helps in carbon sequestration. And of course, it's all organic material. And as the plastic undergo this low heat process without oxygen, it creates this biochar. Researchers currently are experimenting with the possible uses of biochar, such as in some cases to amend poor soil, which is a good thing, to store carbon, as I did mention, absorb pollutants in soil, and of course to decrease nutrient runoff. So the biochar in itself helps to maintain the nutrients in the soil, which is a great thing, because we know that many parts of the world where farmers do struggle with poor soil. So of course the biochar can be used. At the same time, we also have the fuel that's generated from the that could be used and for energy purposes, especially in areas where energy could be a potential problem. And I must admit too that with the applications of the slide one, with the applications of the pyrolysis, it helps because you have rubber from vehicles that essentially can be used, because they use the rubber in pyrolysis plants, and of course that's also converted to the energy. Reduce the pollution, as we both mentioned, from the plastics in the world, and at the same time building material could also be made from the recycled recharge material. Next slide.
Yep, thank you. So it does have many advantages, and it can be used in many different applications. Thank you, Derek.
Thank you.
So GV, Sanaj?
Yeah. Yeah. Hi, good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
I'm audible?
Good morning.
Yes. Yeah. So basically, the entire process was well explained by both our faculty members. So I would like to take you to a small trip on our pyrolysis plant. So this, what you see, is the reactor. We call it reactor. So, and this is loaded with shredded plastics. This is the loading door. You can see this. This is the loading door, and this is the exhaust. That's the there is a burner behind it. It gets fired, and then there is a heat. Once the it gets heated, it gets exhaust. The exhaust is going up, and I'll just start the blower. So when the blower starts, it basically pushes the fresh air into the burner, and basically the fresh air gets preheated, and once it gets preheated, it takes less energy to for the consumption to complete. And we can see here, this is the burner. This is the burner. I hope you can see that.
Yes.
So basically the process was well explained, and the plastic being a long chain polymer when it gets cracked with absence of oxygen when it's heated, and the vapors go out up there from its vapor chambers. It goes up, and then it goes through a condensation process, and then it gets condensed from the condensation chamber, and it gets cooled, and the oil gets collected through this pipe and goes here. And this is how you get the oil. And I have got the oil samples also. You can see, you can look at the oil samples. So this is how the look at it's like, so the extreme left one is the crude type of oil, and then in the middle one you have little distilled, and this is more distilled. So this distilled oil can be used in diesel generators in combination of 50% of diesel, of commercially available diesel. That is because the flash point, the pour point, and the cetane number and acid number needs to be adjusted, and they can be well done by addition of the diesel to this light diesel oil. So in a sense, a few students were asking that whether it is going to be commercially viable or economical, or can there be a business model out of this? So definitely, it is possible to have a business model of pyrolysis plant. What we have here is a pilot model, and on a small scale, it doesn't get profit to you. And when you go bigger scale, like let's say 1 ton, 2 ton per day, then you get actually a lot of output oil. So in a sense, there are various types of plastics, as explained by Dr. Hans and Greg. So polyethylene, the HDPE and the LDPE produce more oil, and the PP and the PS, the polystyrene and the polypropylene, they have got lesser quantity of oil. So about 75% by weight, you get oil out of LDPE and HDPE. So that's, let's say if you have 100 kilos of plastic, you get at least 75, or at least 50 to 75 kilos. That means when you convert it to liters, because plastic, this oil has density of 0.8, so you get more quantity. So something like about 60 to 80 liters of light diesel oil you get. And when you further distill, you get you get two fractions of oil. One is basically little thicker, and one is lighter, and the lighter can be used for the engines, diesel engines. Directly, this is not advisable to be used in vehicles, because vehicles have got sophisticated engines, and then they need certain extra treatment before it can be used in vehicles. But it can be directly used in furnaces where there is a heat energy is directly required, and it can be used in diesel generators, as I mentioned, 50-50 diesel plus this LDO. And when you say economic model, it has to be backward compatible, or I would say, the supply chain has to be in place, in the sense that even though each city produces tons of plastic waste every day, it's difficult to get segregated waste. So that's one challenge. So basically, inherently we should be convinced that plastic is actually, as mentioned by both of our panelists, that it's going to be a deadly thing for the environment. But we could see it as a potential, transforming thing in the sense that we could utilize that same waste and then get energy out of it. Being a possibility of recycling, that means each plastic can be recycled, but the recyclability of each plastic is limited to few number of times. So once the recyclability is over of that particular plastic, it can be definitely used as RDF. That's the reduce, can be converted into fuel. And once it gets converted to fuel, then you have the energy, and it's available. And so in the process, I would mention that there are three outcomes. One is the oil, then is the gas, and there is the biochar. So the oil is about 50% to 75% of oil you get by weight. And then the gas, what we do, we when the gas comes out, we put it in the compressor and then compress it to a gas storage tank. And the same gas is again used to fire the same process next batch. So, and whatever carbon remains, the biochar remains, it can be utilized in agricultural fields because it's a very good organic carbon content as biochar. And then it can also be used as fuel. I mean, you can mix it with wood dust and so with some binder, and then it can be used as a fuel also. So far as economic model or business model, I would mention that it is very much possible, but it needs a bigger scale of operation, and it could be very much profitable, also a profitable business.
Okay, thank you, Prabhu. Thank you very much, Dr. Hans, Prabhu, and Dr. Skeet. Do you have a sample of the oil? You can show us a sample, Prabhu? Or?
Yes, sure.
Just want to take a quick look at what a sample looks like of the oil, the output from the, yeah, these are samples. Fuel.
This one, yeah, this is, there are two samples.
Okay. All right, thank
you. So they're little brownish in color.
Right.
And if it is further distilled, that means you need another distillation unit. If it is further distilled, this can also become transparent.
Okay. Oh, good. Again, thank you for that very informative presentation, Dr. Hans, again, Dr. Skeet and Prabhu.
Yes.
All right. Thank you again from GV.
Is there any questions? We'll take it.
I think they put in questions in the chat, so we'll try and answer. If you could look at the chat, you can Q&A. There's a Q&A there.
If there is a website for the project, some of the questions they're asking in the chat.
So if you can respond in the chat, that'll be great.
Fine.
Okay, Derek and Hans, Sunaj, and Prabhu.
Yes,
okay.
sure.
Thank you very much. Thanks again. The next part of our program, again, thank you again. Next part of the program we have is on organic farming. We have Dr. Sen. Paramita, you want to start it?
Yeah, I have to share screen, Neil, for the presentation, or I have sent it to you. You can share screen, or
you can share the screen. You can share the screen.
Okay.
I have it up as well. If I have the older model, if you want me to share it.
Okay.
We have Hemwati, not Nashkar. Is this the same one from yesterday? This is the same one, Paramita?
Yeah.
Let me share it because I think Hemwati's up there. Let me just, can you stop sharing and I'll share it? I have it here. I can share it for you.
Okay. I sent it in the morning today to you. But I can share it.
Okay, go ahead, Paramita. Go ahead.
Should I stop share?
No, go ahead, Paramita. Go ahead.
Okay. All right. So the next part of this program, you have we all had a wonderful journey to see pyrolysis. Now the next part of the program is organic farming practice, and I know it's a buzzword now, organic farming. So this is how our presentation will go. I will just introduce a couple of, we all know organic farming is natural food and everything. So I'll just hint on a couple of buzzwords. And did we experience organic farming practice while we were in Ecovillage? Yes, we did. One day we were in an agricultural field. So one of our students, Hemwati, is going to share her experience with all of you. And then we have Madhav Murari Prabhu, who is actually standing in a field in Ecovillage, and he will show us how they have transferred a wasteland to an organic farming field. So I think it's going to be very exciting for all of you. So in this particular slide, you can see the picture of Ecovillage on the top, and the cowshed over here, and then a couple of papaya trees, which are also grown organically in the village. And our chairperson has named it papaya tree. So we will see why it is papaya and not papaya. Okay, so first we all know what is organic farming. So it's a process where we do not use a synthetic fertilizer or pesticides, but how synthetic fertilizer and pesticide came into our agricultural practice. So it goes to last century, 1950. Before that, I'd like to say that all of us, we know that humans from hunter-gatherers to agricultural practice started about 8 to 10,000 years ago. And that's how, you know, we started settling down in rivers, and all these big civilizations like Egyptian, Sumerian, China, Indus Valley, they all started. So the practice was going on, and you know, the population in the world was stable until 1970, 1750 onwards. We saw that there is a shift in population. The population started growing. So last century, 1950, population was already 3 billion, and there was a food shortage, a severe food shortage in some countries, and also nutritional deficits in food because the soil was continuously tilled for agriculture. So during this time, a scientist came forward, Norman Borlaug, with his innovative ideas, and that has been labeled in our academia as Green Revolution. That means a real revolution in agriculture. So what he did basically, he invented some varieties of seeds, which was, the whole idea was to reduce hunger and poverty, hunger definitely. But he invented a variety of seed which was genetically modified, and it has some nutritional benefits to it. Now, for the last few decades, we have seen that it helped. That time it helped Mexico to come out of hunger. It helped India a lot. But we started observing the negative side of this green revolution, of using this GMO varieties of seeds, of using this synthetic fertilizer, pesticides. And we see that, yes, a lot of health effect was on us. One or two, you all know that there was allergic reaction we have developed these days, and it's a potential trigger to all this allergic reaction. Then these genetically modified seeds, the way they are being modified is the crop has a resistance to disease, which has also affected their population, the people, to defend against illness. So combating all this, we have now developed a concept of organic farming. We want to go back to the previous practice we had. Now, there are some good effects we all know, so I'm just going to hint on it a little bit, and we will see that how in Ecovillage, where we had 2 weeks stay and experience, how they are practicing it. So yes, we know healthy food, definitely, a healthy soil. Healthy food is, organic farming will not use any of these crops, any of the seeds from GMO varieties. It's all natural. So the food is definitely healthier. Now we have healthy soil. Yes, to grow the healthy food, we need healthy soil, and natural cultivation practice we have seen is much, much better than chemically managing the soil. Now, organic fields, it has been seen that they have 8 inches of more topsoil, which is topsoil than the soil which is chemically treated. Now, in the United States, they have done a lot of research, and recently I was reading an article from Rodale Institute of Farming System, and they have been doing a trial from 1981, and they have found that organic farming can reduce the carbon footprint. So, previously we had Provost Okereke from Medgar Evers. He was talking about climate change. Yes, this organic farming also can contribute a little bit on climate change. I won't say a little bit. If it's like, if every farmer in the United States can convert themselves to organic farming, they have seen that we can save the environment from 500 million tons of pesticides we are using, and that goes to air, water, and definitely to us. Now, there is so we have clean environment through organic farming, and definitely it minimizes the air, water, and soil pollution. Just remember that the farmers who practice organic farming, they spend a lot of time in mulch, amending the soil, and we saw in GV they use green manure, and this helps a lot in conserving water. And all these GMO varieties of seeds, when they use this synthetic fertilizer and pesticides, they use a lot of irrigation water. So water is being saved definitely in organic farming. Now, another thing we will say that it promotes biodiversity. Yes, absolutely. It encourages biodiversity. We have crop rotation as a program in many of the organic farming process. Crop rotation means in between two crops, we have another crop which will add natural fertilizer to the soil, like nitrogen, because most of this synthetic fertilizer actually has nitrogen, phosphorus as its ingredient. So how we can enhance the soil with this through a natural system, that is what an organic farmer will look at. So I won't go into much detail, but just to tell you that it produces a range of crops which is suitable to the local needs. That's another thing which is very, very important. Monocropping has become a very, an essence of the huge economy of agriculture in industrialized agricultural system in the Western world. But it's always not, always not suited to a developing economic country like India. We saw that after a green revolution came in 1970s, though there was a like wheat production increased, but there was a huge disparity between the farmers who can afford to buy all those expensive GMO varieties of seeds, who can afford to give water or buy the the irrigation water, who can afford the pesticide, who can afford the synthetic fertilizer, and the small scale farmers who actually fell behind in this whole process. So this disparity in socioeconomic thing, if you look at it in that way, we have seen that there was a lot of suicide case. I mean, still now, India, there are farmers and there's a lot of suicide cases that goes on. They cannot repay the money they take as a loan from the bank. So in that case, I think organic farming, if we can introduce that in every village, I think it is a more sustainable way of economy, if you look at it. And definitely from a scientific perspective, we can say that this lack of pesticides, synthetic pesticides we are using, or introducing wider variety of plants, it will definitely enhance biodiversity, and it will lead to a better soil quality, and it will lead, less pollution. But as also an environmental, if I look at it as in an environmental justice way, it will do a lot of justice. As Prabhu Gaurangadas was mentioning about, one of the sustainable development thing from United Nations is reducing the gap or reducing the disparity. I think definitely it plays a huge role in that process. Now I will ask Hemwati to share his experience. This is what Ecovillage has done. This is their organic farming process, and you will see that it's definitely organic because it's a sewage water treatment plant which provides most of the nutrients. So one of the way to give fertilizer to the soil is manure, and that has been done from the cow shed or the wastewater facility system in Ecovillage. So we had a great experience in that, and our student will actually talk on this, Hemwati, about her experience over here. Hemwati.
Good morning, everybody, and good evening to the other time zone, people in the other time zones. And I just want to thank Dr. Sen and Dr. Philip for giving me this opportunity to participate in this morning's information session on GV, the wonderful things that GV has to offer. This picture you see here is when we visited GV. There was a farmer in nearby village. So the great thing that stood out to me when we visited this farmer was that he had his own seed bank. And because he had his own seed bank, benefit of that is there are no GMOs. It's all part of organic farming. And that was pretty fascinating to see. And it was very, very inspiring to know that, you can see him in his own element. You see that he's very passionate about it. And he explained so much to us. We even had, he took us on a trip into his farm and we saw whatever he was producing and things like that. That was truly a great experience. Also, another aspect that we experience in organic farming in GV was also not in organic farming necessarily, but addition to that was in GV, there was ecological footprint by CUNY students. And what I mean by that, we planted trees in Ecovillage. And that was quite symbolic because we traveled from New York to GV by aircraft. Thus, as a result, we increased our carbon footprint. So we felt like we need to give back to the environment. So because of that, we actually planted some trees. And I think we felt like we left an important mark as a group, the CUNY group. So that was pretty inspiring. And I just want to share a bit of my experience, overall experience in GV. So traveling to GV or visiting GV, India itself was a truly transformative experience for me. And I would just like to mention even more so because I have roots in India and that's why it's very meaningful. So I want to mention that we were engaged in both social and sustainability activities. We practiced true sustainability in GV. And I believe in New York, we often speak about sustainability, but I saw when I visited that GV epitomized sustainability. We heard the wonderful things GV does in women empowerment, producing building material, biosoil technology, wastewater treatment, organic farming, etc. Witnessing and engaging in not all or some of these wonderful activities at GV was truly an unforgettable experience. So I would like to take this opportunity to thank the entire GV team, especially Nimai, Rakesh, Manisha, Iris, Diego, and all the other staff for creating a very warm and welcoming environment. And I also would like to thank CUNY for funding, Dr. Philip, Professor Sen, Dr. Skeet, and Mr. Greg Bruce for providing this once in a lifetime opportunity. And I can honestly say that it was truly amazing. I would definitely recommend that you all visit GV if you haven't. And I can assure you it will be an experience you would remember for the rest of your life. I think all the other students will tell you the same as well when they do share the experience. So thank you once again.
Now we will, thank you, Hemwati. Now we will actually go to Ecovillage and we will see that, how they're practicing this sustainable agriculture. So we will have Madhav Murari Prabhu, who will actually take us to a westland which has been converted to an organic farmland. Thank you so much.
Hello everyone, Hare Krishna. And I'm audible to everyone?
Yes.
Yes, thank you, Neil. So few things that we have done in GV in relation to organic farming, I'm going to show you. Here we have almost a 20-degree slope in the land. If you see, this is the downside and this is the upside. And this particular area, because we receive almost like 3,500 mm of rains. So the heavy rains actually wash off the soil. So earlier, this was a straight slope. Now we have made these small beds, made some steps into the land, and we have also made swales so that the water that is coming down doesn't come with great velocity. And to even stop the soil from getting eroded, we have put grasses like vetiver, and we have also put lemongrass. So that also means it's not just doing soil erosion, stopping soil erosion, but also it is a produce which we can use for our consumption. So this plot doesn't look nice as such because organic farming may not look nice, but it certainly tastes nice. We have these varieties of crops here in front of us. Some of it is rose that we use for making some herbal preparation. We have mango. We also have pupayas. We have we also have these lemons here. So the idea behind this is that we are able to have, you know, good crop from varieties of plants as compared to what we generally have in conventional agriculture, that we tend to do monoculture, which kind of is risky because of the pest attack or the disease attack. And especially, as they say, one should not put all the eggs in one basket. Similarly, it is important that a farmer grows multiple crops so that he can get different benefits from each crops, and overall he can have an economic benefit. So he is not affected by market fluctuations as well. So you see, this is the end part of the slope. I am standing at the downside, and here we have a lot of lemongrass growing, which is arresting all the soil erosion. To develop this wasteland, which I just showed you, the slopy land, we also got some of the silt from the 1 crore liter pond that we have in our farm. So once the water is, once the 1 crore liter water harvesting pond, the water dries up, the soil below it, we just, that's called silt. We put it in the on the top soil. So that is more or less like a, you know, best quality market available, what do you call it, the potting mix which people use. So this is one thing. Now I'm showing you something which is in a new research work that we are doing at GEV. This is a plot of millet rice. This is a plot of millets. This is called proso millet. Another is little millet. So these are various varieties that we have taken from farmers which are undergoing a lot of losses. So it's like every year less and less people are growing varieties. So we have spoken to a lot of farmers around us, and, you know, collected all those endangered varieties. This is the another plot. This is of finger millet. Here also we have almost like 12 varieties of finger millet and 8 varieties of our little millet. We also have around 54 varieties of rice. All of this is just to ensure that the traditional indigenous seeds survive the onslaught of the capitalist market of the GMOs. So all these varieties we are going to give it to the farmers. This year we have given around 40 varieties to the farmers to grow. We'll get it from them and expand it further. So this is what the new project on research in seed conservation looks like. There's another plot we have of rice, which I can't show you because it is somewhere on the other part of the farm. Another thing that we have done is, because the area that we are going living in has a lot of rainfall, because of which the soil is always waterlogged. So in waterlogged conditions, the plants don't survive. So in order to take care of this problem, we prepared what is called as the permanent raised bed.
I think Prabhu lost a connection there.
Some
Prabhu?
dry biomass. Yeah. So, and over that you put some green biomass, and then you put some cow dung slurry and prepare almost like 1.5 to 2 feet of a bed, and slowly it decomposes. You don't have to till this land. Once you have prepared the permanent raised bed, it works for 3 years at least, with very, very good high quality fertile soil getting prepared in the process. So for this project, which we did in 2012, we received the an award from the National Innovation Foundation of India. And the slopey land that I showed you, which was a wasteland, we developed it into a crop cultivation land. That is something which which earned us a reward in the Limca Book of Records. So Limca Book of Records is like the Guinness Book of Records of India. And so this is
awesome.
So this is another thing. I'm showing you another part of this land. We have these varieties from various villages which are getting depleted. Conserving them is our main aim. There's a lot we can actually, once people come here, they can see a lot. We have around 1,100 farmers to whom we are teaching how to do sustainable farming. So when a farmer grows old, he should be able to earn from his land without working. For that, he needs to do what is called as Wadi. So W-A-D-I, what we call as an orchard. Basically a way of horticulture in which we grow small term crops, middle term crops, and long term crops. So small term crops are the crops which are seasonal. Middle term crops are those which last for 1 or 2 years, like papayas, like the banana, or then we have long-term crops which are like fruits. For example, we have sapota, we have mango, we have cashew. So these are the things which we are trying to expand and teach people, give them support so that they can have sustainable agriculture. And apart from this, next year, when you people are going to come here, we'll take you on a tour to the farmers who will be doing much more seed conservation through this initiative we started in this year. So that's from me. Of course, organic agriculture cannot be completed. What all activities we have done cannot be showcased in 5-10 minutes. I hope.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Yeah.
Great job. Great job.
Thank you.
Paramita Hemwati from your college, again, representing your college, and Professor Sen. It's an awesome job and showing us all that great work in GV.
Thank you. I'm just curious, who coined the term papaya? Like, was it
Nimai?
Or
Nimai.
Nimai. That's Nimai's term. No, that's not. I must understand it.
You want to see the papayas?
Yeah.
Okay. Next on the program, we're trying to move along. Next on the program, we're going to talk about myself and Nimai, the one who coined the papaya term, that famous papaya term. We're going to talk about water. We're going to talk about water and wastewater. Nimai, are you there?
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Can you all hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yes, myself and Nimai is going to talk about water and wastewater. So this is Nimai Leodas. You want to introduce yourself quickly, Nimai?
Yes, I've been fortunate to be part of this project for almost 9 years now, serving in various capacities. And one of my favorite works here is to interact with bright young students from different parts of the world. And was very privileged and fortunate to be part of the team that was hosting CUNY last year. And really looking forward, really missed you all this year, but definitely next year look forward to hosting a lot more students and lot more faculty members here at GEV.
Absolutely. So Nimai and I are going to talk about, again, water. So I have my old bosses on this show. Fred Kinchlow is on this program. So Fred, I'm going to steal some of the things from Sapin Engineers and talk about wastewater operations and wastewater operations in New York, so we can compare the operations in New York to what is done in India. So I'm going to share my screen. Okay. So just really quickly set up. And we love GV, so that's how to put us in there. So this is Namela. Namela, Greg got mad at her for playing with the food. This is ketchup. We wasting ketchup and making signs about GV. GV's love of CUNY. I mean, CUNY's love of GV, and both ways. GV's love of CUNY. But in New York City, compared to India, and when you compare what we do in New York City to what is done in India, there's no sewers in Maharashtra. In the Ecovillage, you don't have any sewers there. So in New York City, you flush a toilet, it goes into the sewer lines. Again, I stole this video from, I used to do some work for Fred Kinchlow up in Westchester County. And let's show you what it looks like to be in a sewer line. This is in a sewer line. So the water goes into the sewer lines. This is what it looks like in a sewer. And from the sewer lines, it goes into a wastewater plant where you have a grit chamber to get rid of any kind of big particles and rags. People flush a lot of crazy stuff down the sewer line. So you want to get rid of those big things so that doesn't destroy the pumps that goes beyond that point. So this is like a screen. Then it goes in a primary settling tank where you let the water settle for like 30 minutes. All the heavy particles goes to the bottom. And then it goes to the next stage. The next stage, this is called the aeration tank, where you basically bubble air through the water. And the water has a lot of bacteria. When you get bacteria, the air is like food for the feces that's in that water, it's like food for the bacteria. And once you give them air, they will eat it and produce more carbon dioxide, water, and more bacteria. And eventually we pass it to the next process. It's called the secondary tank, where we let that water settle, and you can see it's much cleaner than what came into the plant initially. So this is a conventional wastewater plant. After that process of settling, it goes to the chlorine disinfection tank, where you add some chlorine, keep it for 30 minutes to inactivate bacteria and other organisms that can be harmful. And then it's dumped into the river, into outfall, and it goes to India, it goes to China, it goes all over the world. That wastewater, so whatever we do in New York City, it's important because the water does not just stay in New York City, it's transported around the world. So we have very high standards here. And again, I was privy to work with 7 engineers, and I have Fred. I'm again honored to have Fred Kinchlow, my former boss, on this program today. Sorry. So Nimai, I'm going to pass it on to you. That's New York City's water treatment system, and now to India. And these things, if in that wastewater plant, you basically want to remove organic material and solid materials. If you want to remove nutrients like nitrogen and phosphorus, that's the next level that's taking place, and that's why I work at 7 engineers on. We have to go a much higher level, and it's much more expensive. But that's what has happened in many parts of New York City today. To do tertiary treatment to get rid of nitrogen and phosphorus on the wastewater. Okay, Nimai, I pass it on to you.
Yes, thank you, Neil. Right, and yeah, that we just saw an example here of Neil presenting how it is like to have a centralized kind of a waste management mechanism, which has become very popular. The way the urban infrastructure all over the world has expanded, we see that these kind of centralized mechanisms have been adopted, and that has become the de facto way of doing things. But we also have to understand that these centralized mechanisms were adopted at a time when the size of a typical urban infrastructure was less than 1/20th the size that we see today. The rate at which our cities are expanding, these centralized mechanisms are not able to take the stress of these large scale volume of operations, and that has increased the net embodied energy of the entire operation. So the approach that we brought to the table here at Govardhan Ecovillage is a decentralized way for water solutions. And specifically here, we adopted a mechanism called as Integrated Water Conservation and Protection Scheme. So there are 2 aspects to it. The first aspect is about the water conservation. So you are looking at one of our biggest rainwater conservation points. Let me see if I can very quickly flip the camera and give you a nice view of one of our biggest rainwater ponds. Right, this stores up to 13 million liters of water, and it's all natural rainwater which just trickles down the mountain drop by drop. Right, and the idea is, first, for any community to be sustainable, it has to be resourceful in its own water requirements. And way back in 2010, when the systematic planning for the Ecovillage began, the first thing that we worked on is going through a whole tedious process of a hydrogeological survey. Hydro is water and geology is rocks, right? So how water is flowing through the rocks, the different strata of ground surfaces in the Ecovillage, we studied this. And based on that, we identified what is the optimized location for building these kind of water containing structures so that the rainwater can naturally be collected, and two, where it can percolate and recharge the groundwater. Because you see, India is a heavily groundwater dependent nation, where because it rains for only 3 to 4 months of a year, the other 8 months of a year we sustain on groundwater. And therefore, rainwater structures like these are so very important in ensuring that the groundwater that we consume for the other 8 months are replenished. And that way we are able to ensure a long-term water security for the entire eco-village. So that was the conservation part. But imagine you are collecting all this water in this underground reservoir that you have created, which nature has given us as this aquifers. But in this nice pristine aquifers, if you end up adding few drops of contamination in the form of fecal bacteria, right? What use is all that groundwater? And that was the second part, where along with conservation, we also had to protect the quality of the groundwater. And that is where wastewater management was the other area which we heavily researched and explored upon. And thanks to that research, we have one of our close friends, Dr. Biplav Patnaik from IIT Bombay, who helped us set up this technology called as soil biotechnology. Earlier, we saw Neil presenting how the New York City's wastewater systems work. And you notice how there are multiple sections through which the wastewater goes through. There's a primary, secondary, and a possible tertiary treatment also, which can happen. Now, the idea behind these different stages is that the waste, when it is in water, it cannot be easily removed. It cannot be easily decomposed. If you look in terms of embodied energy, some chemical analysts have found that water is not such a great media for waste decomposition, whereas soil has 10,000 times more useful bacteria that can help in accelerated decomposition of waste. So logically speaking, a soil media based waste management is less energy consuming and more eco-friendly compared to a water-based treatment. Then you may be wondering, why is the whole world doing that? It again goes back to my earlier point where I said how many of these modern mechanisms are just a legacy which we are carrying forward from back in late 18th, early 19th century, when cities were much smaller. So back then we had flush-based systems, water-based system that could transmit which would just carry the flow away from a source to one centralized processing station. So water is good in collecting waste and transmitting waste from one point to another remote location. But when it comes to being an efficient media for waste management, it is not necessarily the best one. So what you will see here, Ganganaranji is also there standing at our soil biotechnology plant. Ganganaran Prabhu, if you are there, I request you to now take over, and you can show us the wastewater management system that we have there in the form of soil biotechnology plant. Over to you, Prabhu.
Yeah, thank you, Nimal, for that nice description. Okay, so you can see the pupayas. Yeah. So this is the place where we call it the soil biotechnology plant, and the wastewater gets collected in one of the collection tanks that comes through the gravity. And this process has got two mechanisms. One is called primary, one is called secondary. The primary process has aggregates below it, as you can see. This is the trench, and below this trench there are aggregates, and these aggregates are of special type, which is again the PhD thesis of the IIT Bombay. So this fecal water, I mean this wastewater goes down vertically, and it passes through those aggregates, and the suspended solids get trapped in that, and then it moves to, we call it process tank, and it comes down here. This is the process tank, and this is the primary processed water. And this again gets pumped up to a secondary reactor, which you can see a lot of vegetation here. And this has got an extra 50 centimeter of soil bed. That's a cultured soil bed. And this cultured soil bed helps in removing the rest of the contaminants in the water. So the roots of these plants, they take on that nutrients, and the soil and the aggregates put together, they create a aerated atmosphere for the bacteria to grow, so that you don't need any aeration, mechanical aeration for that. And there are windows beside this where there is a natural draft that can pull in by the bacteria because of their respiratory process. And this process is basically only needing what you call as pumping. I mean, the pumping in one stage and pumping to the next stage. So once this pumping, the two-stage pumping is done, then we have the treated water here, which we call it fish fit treated water. And this can be used for irrigation. This can be used for flushing. This can be used for fish farming. So the TDS gets reduced, the COD and BOD gets reduced to below 50, and what we get in the wastewater, the COD BOD, the raw COD BOD comes to something around anything between 500 to 750, and that is reduced to below 50. And the oxygen content of this water is also very good, very high, and because of that, if you there is another property to this water, this treated water, is if you keep this water for a long time, then it doesn't get any kind of algae, any kind of bacterial growth, or any kind of contaminants growing within that same stored water. And this also, because it is full of in the sense that all the nutrients, the dissolved nutrients have been taken out, and this also gives a good nutrition value to the irrigated plants. So as you can see, we have got a lot of fruits and vegetables growing out there. There are flowers, and there are gourds and so many other things. So, economically, if you see, I had calculated that it comes to about 1 paisa per liter. So maybe you can calculate that into dollars. So that's the running cost of this plant. Yeah. If there are any questions, then maybe I can take that. Hello. Hello. Am I audible?
Thank you, Prabhu.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Prabhu. Thank you, Nimai. Thank you, Nimai.
Thank you, Neil. Questions in the chat, so you can follow that. Yes.
Yes. Fine. I'll follow that.
Thank you so much.
Let's moving the program along. Again, thank you again. Great job, guys, and Ecovillage. It looks very nice and green there. Wish we were there.
Yes. Yeah.
So that's going to move along. The next item in the program is weather monitoring. We don't have a lot of time, so that's going to move along. We talk about monitoring weather and using solar regular weather stations, and also mobile backpack weather stations. This is an invention of Dr. Brian Van Hout from City College. We can adapt it a little bit and modified it, and we use it in Spain, Australia, also in India. And Greg Bruce, who's also here as well, who's going to talk as well, has also used it in Townsville, and they're using it and promoting it very widely with Jordan Mellish from the city of Townsville, the Smart City winner. So they're here as well, Jordan, and we have our students, Justin Almonte, Griselda Jesus, and Kamal Straham. I think Kamal is in Belize right now. So we have students we have him logging up from Belize. Right, Kamal, are you there?
Yeah, I'm from Belize.
Are you in Belize right now?
Yes, sir.
Awesome, great. So I'm gonna share my, are you seeing my screen?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Okay, Grizel, you there? So you just jump in, just jump in when you get a chance, okay? So we're just gonna, current slide. Sorry, let me just pull back here 1 second. Current slide. Okay, that is not working. Okay, this is talking about the weather station. Here we are. You have Professor Sen with a box, a weather station box, which our students never saw before. Grizel probably saw it in us. Grizel, you saw this box in Spain and Australia, but all the other students never saw a weather station, what it looked like. And here's Professor San with his box, which came from New York City. We brought it from New York City with his professional weather station. So Grizel, you want to say your experience very quickly?
Oh yeah. So hi everyone. This was presented to me at first when we did the first study abroad in Spain, and I was really shocked to be, I've never been exposed, even being a science major, to this type of instruments. So we saw it, and we did it. I think it was in 2 hours in Spain or something like that. And I was really excited to do this and also to do the backpack weather stations that I think we're going to show later on, because I was able to talk to see how the environment was feeling where I was surrounded by. And I think we measured some climate parameters such as CO2, temperature, UV light, pH in water. And we also had the GPS on, so we could track where we were walking, biking, and doing cultural activities as well. um we got reunited one day, and we just did it together as a group and as a family. And I think it was Greg and his team, they made like this whiteboard, which actually made it better for the backpack weather stations. So yeah.
Thank you, Grizel. I'm having some difficulty with my screen here. So
You want me to share, Neil? You can send it to me.
let me just try one more time, Paramita. Thanks, Paramita. Let me try this one more time, see if it works.
Okay.
Okay, you see the screen. So let's go to the next slide. And you can see here, you have Kamal here, Kamal Straham, and I don't see Justin Malmonte. Justin, are you here as well, Justin?
Hey, yeah, I'm here.
You want to talk about this?
Yeah, sure. Good morning, everybody. My name is Justin Almonte, electrical engineering student at City College, the City College of New York. And yes, I loved India. My experience, I could say, was amazing. There you have some pictures where we have Nimai, Dr. Philip, Greg Bruce, Kamal, Wilkins, and me, setting up the weather station on top of a roof. So it was raining that day. The floor, like the roof, was slippery, so we had to be careful. But we made it. We made it. That was amazing. And after that, we were doing some forestation. So now, after setting up the weather station, we have the opportunity, to take a look to the weather at the Ecovillage from our college, from Bronx community, and that's amazing. We could check the temperature, the amount of water that falls in an hour, and yes, we didn't. Besides setting up a weather station, we also will use the backpack with the sensors while getting to know India, walking around. So, and as Dr. Phillips said, we never saw a weather station before, and as soon as we got it to our hands, we just started, building it, and we made it. It was a great experience.
Thank you, Justin. Greg, you want to say a couple of words about the weather station install? We did it in India, then we came back. We did it in Australia before. We kind of perfected it. And this actually, Justin, this is from this morning. It comes on our cell phone. The weather comes on our cell phone on an app. It's called Weather Link. And if you type in Govardhan Ecovillage, you'll see the weather station is up there. It's also listed on the GV website. If you look at the Govardhan Ecovillage website, you'll see the weather station is also it's also prominently displayed as well.
So, you wanting me to say something now, Neil?
That's great. Can you jump in? I'm just going to find the GV website.
So, I don't really do what Neil wants me to do, but I guess I can try. He bought a weather station over to Townsville, and the CUNY put one in Spain and in GEV, and very powerful example of doing that. What, you know, our challenge in Australia is that the cost that Neil has for his weather station is about 10 times that cost in Australia. So we're going down a different route of teaching people to build low-cost sensors and establishing businesses in Townsville that can build low-cost sensors. And Neil's showing the weather station on the building there. The building it's very important for us to have a weather station. We're actually looking at putting sensors around the whole building to understand how a building feels. Because if we can understand how a tree feels by putting sensors on it, because otherwise we don't know what a tree feels, because a tree doesn't have a nose for us or eyes or fingers. So we have to put sensors on the tree to understand the changes in temperature that occur from the top of the tree to the bottom of the tree. And we need to do the same on a building. So we have sensors in our building management system, and we have sensors in other parts of the building, but none of them talk to each other. And a lot of the sensors that are built in the world are proprietary systems. And they mean that reductionistically, an individual company gets the benefit of the cost. They have the lowest inputs into the highest output that they can get, and then they control the data. And then you have to pay more and more for the data to share the data. So we do sprints in Australia. We involve young people, university students, engineering students, and sometime, Neil, we should do one of these to share what we're actually doing in Townsville, because I think it's of huge relevance to the City University of New York and even India, where, you know, when we talk about cheap sensors in Townsville, by the time you get to India, you take 1,000 or 10,000 times cheaper. So whilst the United States may be the cheapest place to get a reductionistic proprietary system, which you can't, very hard to share data from that to other systems. And that's our primary goal in Townsville, is to share data from all systems and to have it an open access API and have students be able to build those sensors themselves. So yeah, that'll probably do for me, but we use those backpack sensors that you can see there now that they're walking around with. We used them in Townsville. We did a bike ride last year at a major international architecture and design conference, and we got about 10 participants biking around the city with the backpack sensors on. And they were great, but again, they're proprietary systems. They're very good, but they cost a lot of money, and too much money for us. So we've actually got a small company we're working with in Townsville that is actually buying what we call pucks, and it's really quite extraordinary what we're doing, but that's for another day. Bye.
All right, thank you so much. But you can see what a backpack can do. It has, again, these built-in sensors. You can put in a car, you can put in a bicycle, and Paramita had it, Professor Sen had his students put one on his car, and he drove around Manhattan, and he can tell all the temperature parameters, temperature, humidity, carbon dioxide. You can see this is Roberto Hernandez from our college in CUNY, and Wilma, who's been to Townsville as well, doing this great work and on backpack weather stations. You can adapt it to bicycles, I said, and put on a bike and ride around. And you get some great data even when you're in the mountains in Spain. This is an example in Spain in the mountains. The data we collect on the backpack weather stations is very awesome. So you can tell a lot of different things about climate and pollution on a micro scale with these instruments. So thank you. Kamal, you want to say a couple words on that before we close on this part of the program?
There's the bikes with those people I was talking about, Neil, and yes. That's the students, and all 10 of them were females, and all the men there are from my section, my staff. So only the females signed up to go for the bike ride, other than the men from my section who did them. And then on the left, that's me on Magnetic Island with a backpack sensor on. When we took all these professional men who didn't want to ride a bike on a bus around the magnetic island. And myself and another staff member, we carried the backpack sensor around with us. So we love the backpack sensor idea and love the way Neil has turned it into a bike sensor. So carrying it around, the bike carries the sensor around, or a car sensor. So we're just wanting to do it in busting it from the data at the lowest point of cost and knowledge and coding and build community capacity to think and act for themselves. Thank you.
Some credit before in the part of the program. We want to just give credit to Jordan Mellish. He's also on the program here from Australia as well. Jordan actually used a 3D printer to print the white backing for the sensors. He took some time. He did a prototype. He sent me a copy of it. It looks really nice, and he went back and forth. But he did a great job of printing these 3D printed plastics so we can mount the sensors on. So Jordan, thank you very much in Townsville. I know you're probably on there. I'm probably sleeping right now. Hopefully not. Okay. So we're gonna go to the next part of the program, which is gonna pass it on to Dr. Aditi Mishal. Dr. Mishal is in Ecovillage, and she works in the Ecovillage and a former professor. Dr. Mishal?
Yeah, thank you, Neil. Thank you so much. And thank you. It was a great setting by all of the panelists till now. And I'm sure we have been convinced that sustainability is the way. Definitely, though we say that sustainability is the way, I would like to share with all the inside-out approach which Govardhan Ecovillage represents, where we say that, when we talk about Mahatma Gandhi ji, whose birthday is today, we talk about Lal Bahadur Shastri ji, who also shares the birthday today. All of these transformational leaders talk about the transformation. And in fact, what Govardhan Ecovillage also represents is that transformation from within, and which then manifests outside. So what I'm going to do is share with all of you one of the model that we propose for transformation. So what you could see here, when we talk about ecosystem, we understand that it starts with the microsystem, that is individual, who is part of the larger ecosystem. Unless we bring in a change in the smallest of the element of this larger ecosystem, individual, will not be able to bring out the change that we desire in the larger ecosystem. And in fact, some of the students were asking questions as to, we want sustainability, but how will it manifest? What would take for it? So the technology, all of these initiatives definitely carry a lot of importance. But to make someone thoughtful, to bring in that sustainability to reality, one, and other thoughtful people to then implement it, what it takes is the transformation. So what are the values that would be required when it comes to the micro ecosystem of an individual for the transformation there? First, the understanding of the purpose, then the self-discipline and persistence, because sustainability is like, you are swimming upstream like salmon fish, and it takes a lot of energy to swim upstream. So where you get that strength from is cultivating these values. When we talk about individual microecosystem, when the transformation happens there, so what do I do with only as an individual? That was one more question which I saw in the chat. What do we do only as one individual? Yeah. So many such like-minded people, when they come together, as what we could see in Govardhan Ecovillage, you ask meaningful questions. What can we do to better the world? And definitely this also is practiced at the level of the family ecosystem, where the values of love, care, and sacrifice nourish that particular family. So the family at the Govardhan Ecovillage and the families of the transformed individual, then we come together to actually contribute to the transformation at the level of the macro ecosystem, which consists of the three pillars of sustainability that we know: the economic sustainability, environmental, and the social sustainability. So what are the values which take to bring in the social sustainability? The service, equity, and genuinity. At the environmental sustainability, the responsibility that we would like to take, the collective action that we would take forward, and the awareness that we would like to bring in in the society and the world at large. So someone mentioned in the chat that you all students, you're our future. Yeah. So, we are passing on something that we learned to all of you, and we would like all of you to take it further and cultivate towards the development of sustainability. For economic sustainability, what are the two important values which will drive it is collaboration and innovation. So where we say we over me. So if we forget who is going to get credit for the transformation which is done, actually we can have a lot more transformation in the world than we are having today. So ultimately, what we are looking forward to is a progressive, equitable society, clean environment, and economic sustainability. So what we are, geared up for is post-pandemic rebound back with that enthusiasm, with that focus that we would change the world for better, for all of us to have a quality life and have a quality environment, which we all deserve. Yeah, so this was the model that I wanted to share from Govardhan Ecovillage side. Gauranga Prabhu has already talked about the UN SDG contributions. I would just briefly share, just 1 minute. I would just like to briefly show you the concept map which we have prepared, which summarizes what Gauranga Prabhu has said about how we contribute to the UN SDGs. So starting from the SDG 1, where we have 300 plus tribal families now lifted over poverty line. I hope it is visible. Yeah. We have distributed around 30,000 plus plates, meals, every day during the pandemic crisis through Govardhan Annakshetra. But we also believe in teaching fishing rather than just giving food, through the rural development initiatives. We have had 1 lakh plus cataract supported through the healthcare program that we run at Govardhan Ecovillage. And of course, the overall well-being, which is being promoted through Govardhan School of Yoga and Ayurveda. And I'm sure you're waiting for the yoga session. So I'm just rushing through. We have a Govardhan Gurukul school here, and 9,000 plus student beneficiaries benefited through the program that we have. But we also have the community awareness program running. We have 350 plus women SHGs, self-help groups, whom we support at Govardhan Ecovillage. In terms of water, you have already seen 10 million liter plus water conserved, and we have 2 lakh liter of water being also recycled. So that kind of impact we have been able to make. 20% of the energy comes from solar energy at Govardhan Ecovillage. We have supported 52 micro enterprises, and their income is now from 150 to 500 rupees per day, which is a huge thing, let me tell you, when it comes to India. Why? Because these are the families which would have annual income of 5,000 rupees. So you can imagine the kind of impact which has been created. around 72 plus skills are granted to the tribal youths. We already have heard about the Limca record that we have made 15,000 plus visitors who visit us. And in fact, this is a great way for us to bring in the sustainability advocacy. So ultimately, we're talking about the biodiversity. We have 10,000 plus trees, and you can, whenever you come here, you will see butterflies dancing, birds chirping. You may have got the glimpse of it at the SBT and the farm.
Snakes, maybe one or two snakes, right? Maybe.
So snakes are integral part of the ecosystem.
When she found one snake and she's ran 10 miles from the snake there.
Yeah. But fortunately, they, there is hardly any case of snake bite till now, because everyone has known to live in harmony, and which I mentioned here as the model for sustainability, where we say harmony with self, harmony with divine, harmony with nature, and harmony with community, where we work with 70 plus villages close by in all of these areas. We have been accredited as the major stakeholders in the category of civil society organizations. And we are trying to take up global discussions on this, putting forth the point that sustainability, if we want to achieve SDGs, it cannot happen without we working on the transformation of individuals and working on all of these values. So this is from my side for our future leaders. Yeah, thank you so much. And handing over back.
And you're gonna hand it over to Anmol?
Yeah, Anmol. Yes. Anmol Prabhu.
Everybody's waiting for this. I forgot my yoga mat, but I have a carpet here on the floor. I'll use
Yoga mat. So much for a 10 minutes interactive yoga session. Parmita, Greg, Neil, so nice to see you again. I wish to meet you soon so that we can complete our hike, which we left halfway the last time with all of the enthusiastic students.
We were wiped out halfway. I was finished. One course away.
So let us, without wasting any more time, I have full 10 minutes to teach yoga, which I usually take 500 hours in our school here, which is the Govardhan School of Yoga. I have to choose a theme though, because in 10 minutes, I can't do justice to everything. So my theme for today's yoga is obviously desktop yoga. What to do when we are sitting on a desktop, on a desk in front of a computer or a laptop for a long time. Yes, we have to keep a timer, a reminder, do yoga in the middle, or maybe an hour or 2 hours after we have started our work or studies. I'm going to be discussing 6 things with you, all of the wonderful students who are hanging on, and this is a nice takeaway for you. 6 things, out of which 4 will be some movements and 2 breaths or breathing techniques, and 1 little hack that I personally use when I have to spend a lot of time in front of a computer. As a yoga teacher, I have to do that also. Beginning with the movements, I'm not going to teach any asanas, obviously. This is beyond the scope of today's entire setup. So if we are sitting on a desk, on a chair for a long time, we usually end up hunching our backs, rounding our shoulders. So these 3 beautiful movements that I personally completely advertise and vouch for. First one, interlocking the fingers behind the head in this way, making the elbows pointing out. Inhaling, pushing the elbows out. Exhaling, pushing the elbows in. Inhale out, open the chest, inhale through the chest. Exhale, bring the elbows back together. Inhale, open the chest, feel the stretch in the chest and a nice compression to the back. Exhale. Movement is in the transverse plane, horizontal movement. Inhale, hold for a few seconds, and exhale. One last time, inhale, opening the chest, feel that wonderful relief to the middle back, and Exhale. Such a simple movement gives an amazing feeling to my back. It's like a relief. Second one, equally important one. This is in the frontal plane, the coronal plane, bringing the hands in line with the shoulders, elbows pointing in the opposite directions, palms open, facing forward. Inhaling, raising the arms up, keeping the spine straight. Exhaling, bringing the arms down. Try and avoid hunching the shoulders, shrugging the shoulders. Keep the shoulders down. Inhaling, arms up. And exhaling, arms down. Point the elbows bring the elbows as close to the body as possible. Inhaling up. Deep inhale. Avoid hunching the shoulders. Point the shoulders down. Exhaling, bring the elbows down. One last time. Inhaling up. And exhaling down. That's it. How much time it took? Like a minute, 2 minutes, max 3 minutes, and I am already feeling a nice relief to my shoulders, to my back, and it's like a nice break. If you have more than 2 minutes, which I'm sure you can take out that much time for the well-being of your posture of your back, you can also do some neck movements. I usually avoid the neck rotation for multiple reasons. So we can just tuck the chin in, down. You can breathe normally and gaze up. Bring the chin down. You can keep your eyes closed or open. Anything is fine. And up. 2 times front and back. 2 times sideways, tilting the neck to one side. Remember not to move the shoulders, just the neck. And then the other. Again, tilting the neck to one side. Don't use your arms to pull the neck. You just let the neck hang by itself. No excessive strain when it comes to a sensitive area like the neck and the others. And the third one, turning the neck to one side. Try and avoid pushing with your arms. Just let the neck be on its own and on the other side. Keep the spine straight. Turning back and the other side. That's it. 3 minutes, max 4 minutes. Let's say if you decide to take 5 minutes out, then the fourth beautiful thing that I personally love, especially if I'm in front of a screen, studying, working, whatever, is one of the most underrated things in asana practice, which is closing your eyes. So just close your eyes gently and calmly. Don't pressurize them. Just close the eyes and hold the closed eyes position for a few seconds. Maybe if you are too restless, try to hear the sound of your breathing. If somehow you're struggling from keeping the eyes closed, take your palms and softly place your palms on top of your eyes. Don't compress them strongly, just soft. If your palms are cold, you can rub them against each other, make them nice and warm, and then very softly place it on the eye. So it's like a nice massage to the eye. It's a nice connection from the palms to the eyes, and very slowly bringing the palms down. For me, this has an immediate connection to my brain. It just soothes me down, calms me down. So these are the 4 movements. First one was elbows in and out. Second one was arms up and down, keeping the spine straight. Third one was neck stretch forward, back to the sides and turning. And the fourth one was closing the eyes, maybe rubbing the palms and keeping the palms on top of the eyes for 10 seconds, 20 seconds, 30 seconds. Make sure you don't go to sleep. The next 2 important breathing techniques that I'm going to discuss, I will also write in the comment section their names so that you can research a little bit more on the proper technique of performing those breathing techniques. The first one is especially beneficial for, if you remember Gaurangaji in the initial section, he said the problem of focus, which billions of people are facing, I'm sure. So this breath called as Brahmari breath or the humming bee breath. The humming bee breath. The bumblebee, the big bumblebee, that's called as the, this breath is attributed or is taken from that bumblebee. What we have to do is very simple. We will inhale normally through the nose, mouth will remain closed. And while exhaling, I will make the sound of that humming bee, and I will try to bring that sound out from the throat and not the nose. So this is how it goes. Inhale and closing the eyes. A nice long exhalation with the humming sound. So just by focusing on this humming sound, which is also a sound of the last part of Omkar mantra, which in yoga is the most famous thing, I think, Omkar. So the ma sound, which is just by hearing this sound, our mind's focus or the ability to focus, it increases. Remember, there is a wrong way of doing this also. I call it the mosquito sound. So the sound should come from the throat and not the nose. The nasal sound will sound something like this. Something like a mosquito. I want it to be slightly deeper coming from the throat area. You should feel the vibration somewhere around the throat region. So this is the Brahmari breath or the humming bee breath. The second one is equally important, which is called as the Ujjayi breath. Ujjayi means victorious. This breath in English is also known as the ocean breath. This is a little tricky one. I will write out the names in the comment section. You can look it up later. How to do this breath? You have to make a hissing sound from the throat. To begin with, you can just exhale from the mouth, something like this, inhaling through the nose. Now you have to do the same thing. I mean, make sure you're not exhaling in front of other people. The coronavirus has made everyone very, worried about breathing, right? So make sure you're alone in the room. Now do the same thing with the mouth closed. It will sound something like this. So basically, I am trying to exhale in this way while keeping my mouth closed. So imagine a very big snake, the hissing of that snake. Imagine the Harry Potter snake, the big one. So how will that hissing sound be? It will come through the throat. So we have to practice these two breaths, the humming bee breath and the Ujjayi breath, the victorious breath, minimum 6 breaths. One breath takes something around 30 seconds. So 6 breaths should not take more than 2 to 3 minutes if the breathing is less or more. And the last one is the hack that I personally use a lot. That hack is right behind me. If you can see, I have a standing table where I can stand and work. So when I am tired of sitting in one spot, I've just made a very simple thing. I've kept one table, another table on top of that, and my laptop table on top of that. So where I can stand and type, stand and read, stand and do the meetings. So this one simple hack of simply standing up, because we are sitting down for hours and hours, it is absolutely not good for our hips, for our back, for everything. So just by making a small hack, like some we call it jugaad. So somehow make a settlement where you can elevate your table, the laptop table, and you can just keep your laptop, your book or whatever on top of that table and read, study, learn, whatever. So quickly recapitulating the four movements: elbows in and out, arms up and down, neck movements to all the sides, and simply closing the eyes, meditating on the breath. Two breathing techniques: the Brahmari breath, humming bee breath, which is used for focus. Everyone needs focus. The second one is the Ujjayi breath, the victorious breath. I mean, that's the word to word translation. The Ujjayi breath specifically soothes you down, calms you down. So any pressure, any excessive stress, strain, performing Ujjayi breath will immediately give that result. Yoga, holistically, the results are long term, but these are some things which may give little rather quicker results. And the last one was the hack, which helps me a lot. I simply stand up and do my desk work instead of sitting on a chair for a long time. So I hope that this small few 5, 6 things have helped you in whatever little way. And again, the beautiful panels, especially Greg, Neil, Paramita, I'm waiting for all of you to come back here and do some more yoga and do some more mountain yoga. You know, that's my week. Yeah, right. Yoga on the hill, I call it.
I'm gonna go to.
So thank you very much. Namaste.
Namaskar. Namaskar. Thank you, Anmol. Great job. Thank you. I think I'm all charged up now. I see the provost Okareka is all charged up. Greg is charged.
Thanks, Anmol. That was amazing.
Dipti is charged. Dipti charged up there. Dipti in Chhattisgarh.
That was great. Working from home, we need all this, every time.
Yes,
exactly.
Yes.
That was really wonderful. A beautiful session.
Yes. Thank you. All right, thank you, Admiral, again, and we hope to see you on TV very soon. And we're gonna have to make sure you actually does some yoga with us as well. Next, we're gonna have our students. We almost finished the program. Sorry for the delay in time, but we have our students who took part in the program from BCC, Medgar College, York College, and LaGuardia. Just jump in and just share screen. I mean, let's see your faces, guys. You're not in class. Let's see your faces so you can see and just tell us about your experiences. We have 5 minutes for this activity before we close the program off. Grizel, anybody else? Kamal. And I also want to recognize one of our staff members, Michael Fields. Michael, are you here? I see you there. Michael? Yeah, Michael Fields. Mike is one of our CLTs. Mike was during the pandemic. Mike and Christian Rodriguez, they both came to school when everybody was scared to come to school and they started printing face shields for medical professionals. And
I'm here, Neil.
Mike, so Mike is here. Mike, and you did a good job printing face shields for everybody, for doctors and hospitals, and donated them to these hospitals. So Mike came down himself. He got sick himself. So, he's a warrior. Mike is a warrior. So Mike, just want to recognize you. You want to say hi to everybody around the world?
Thank you. Appreciate it. This program has been most enlightening. I really enjoyed watching it this morning. We should have more of these. It was fantastic.
You got to remember those yoga poses, Mike, okay? Okay, Mike is a warrior, and Julio Garay as well, Dr. Garay. So I recognize all of you, and Christian Rodriguez, who did a lot of good work during the pandemic to save lives. Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Chris, and thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. So now we're going to hear from our students. So just tell us about your experiences. Grizel, Justin, anybody else is here? Kamal, Absari, Faith. You can put your cameras on. We have 5 minutes, so let's.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I guess, can I start?
Sure.
Oh yeah, so first I just wanted to say thank you to every staff member that made this trip possible, because we learn a lot. I think it's a combination between the academic learning and spiritual learning and sustainability learning, with the workshops that we did, with the yoga, with the tree reforestation process, the weather station, the backpack weather station. We also got time to discuss between us the results that we got. We did a presentation. We helped the elderly people. Also, we went to the orphanage and we played with the kids and we fed them and we ate with them. And they gave us the bracelets, and I remember Wilkins playing a lot, and it was a really emotional trip. I really learned a lot about spirituality and sustainability. And it's just something that I will never forget. And I made a new family, and I'm really grateful for that.
Thank you, Grisel. Thank you.
Yeah, that was nice. So those bracelets, the friendship bracelets, I still have mine at home. You know, I'm in the Dominican Republic now, and you know, Dr. Philip said at the beginning that once you go to India, you never leave India, right? And I bought a shirt over there, and I brought my shirt to the Dominican Republic with me. You know, because it's nice. I like it. So as Grisel said, we had the opportunity to, you know, make sure some elderly people receive their, you know, medicine at least for a week, and that was amazing. We had the opportunity to meet the guys from the orphanage. We didn't know them. Uh, we never saw them before, and I mean, we were dancing, dancing like brothers and sisters, and that was great. I love that part of the day, and also the part that when we went to the school and we were feeding, you know, sharing food with the kids. That was also great. I think we learned a lot of humanity. You know, we learned to be more human. Not only we studied sustainability and, you know, and those kind of processes, but also to be more human and share, be grateful, do yoga. That was fun.
Thank you, Justin. Who's that? Absari or anybody else? Kamal, Absari, Fate?
Hi, Professor. Can you hear me?
Yes, Absari.
Yes, hello, everyone. So, yes, as I agree with Grisel and Justin, it was really a learning experience through our academic learning. Like, we learn a lot of things with farming or with sustainability, weather station that was connected to our field, which was chemistry. But at the same time, it was really like touching with the relationships. Like we learned how to make relationship with like really unknown people. We just met there for before one day. Like some people we met at the airport, but it just became like a family. It was like I think 14 people of group or 13 people of group, and we were like a family. We were like hanging around everywhere. We learned, we helped the team members. I learned a lot of things about like how to behave in a team, how to proceed a team, and a lot of things I learned from my mentors, Dr. Philip, Dr. Skid, Greg Rose, Dr. Sen. And also like the interesting part was the Western Ghat. I really had to mention it because I really had the fun when we achieved the top of the mountain. So yeah, at the same time we try to help in Helpage India. That I was seeing the certificate we got. It was really like emotional moment. Some of us really cried when we went there, and all over like it was a learning experience with academic and like emotional too. And I really giving the thanks to Dr. Philip who inspired me to join this group and this journey. And thank you so much for all the panelists here.
Dr. Hans is also recommended you on private.
Yes, yes.
Yeah,
Dr.
sorry, is Dr. Hans.
Bollywood parameter. She didn't talk about Bollywood. She was in heaven in India with Bollywood.
I know.
I mean, I'm already attached to India because I'm from Bangladesh. So, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, we celebrated Eid in Delhi. That was a very touchy moment with Afsari.
Yes, yes. My family was jealous that I was celebrating in Taj Mahal, that Eid al-Adha. They were like jealous.
Yes. But nobody remembered that 24 hours we were without electricity, without cell phone. I think that was a great moment for Greg. And how we
didn't
all
even feel. I don't think so. We didn't even feel like it was without electricity or without phone.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. So we didn't realize that at all. So definitely we were all bonded together. I'll say that. Thank you to everybody. I had my class from 9 o'clock. I postponed it. Students are still there.
Okay.
So yeah, so I'll join them.
We have Faith and Hemwati just to say some quick words. Faith?
Hi, good morning, everyone. Well, namaste. So I'm still in New York. So I would just like to thank everyone for the opportunity, from the professors to everyone at GEV. I did have a great time. I'm also from a country, I'm from Guyana, also a country with Indian heritage. So it was good for me to see that part that I've never experienced at home. So like I would hear about the ceremonies at the temple, but you never actually went. So I got to experience that cultural part. Like I went to RT for the first time and participated, like being a part of the culture, not just the science experience, but being Indian in India. Aside from everything that, so I was a part of the pyrolysis. I saw that, the organic farming. So you heard about that. And those were great experiences because you got to see things that you want to see happen, like what happens to our plastics. Like you now know that it can be reused, and to see it in real life and say, yes, this is possible. So not just saying it, but seeing it actually happening is really great. And the Taj Mahal, like who does not want to see Taj Mahal, to cap the entire experience with such a great wonder. So it was great indeed.
We went to the Taj Mahal. We didn't go there. We did, yeah, we did, right? So here we are. Taj Mahal, you mentioned it, so it is. Everybody's in Taj Mahal.
Look at us. Like, when would I have done this?
That was my chance. I told my students about, we were supposed to go to Goa and it was flooded out. And so Nomella said, Professor, Nomella and a couple of students came and said, Professor, we want to go somewhere else. Can we, even though it was not really planned for the trip? And, you know, Derek Skeet, Greg Bruce, Paramita Sen, Rakesh Panda, who is also a good friend, and Nimai, and all put together the credit cards. And in 1 hour, we bought 23 tickets of flights from Mumbai to New Delhi to make that possible. That was a great initiative from the staff members to be flexible, but and to help the students and to all of us to realize a great dream to visit the Taj Mahal. And that
I
was
think,
really
Professor, that's the best idea that we went to Taj Mahal, not the Goa, because it was like 8th wonder in the world.
good.
Maybe we can see it.
You all agree, enjoyed it.
Actually, 6 o'clock, taking jet lag advantage, 6 o'clock I went to my room, convincing all the students we will stay here. Weather outside is bad because of monsoon. And I went to take a nap. 9 o'clock when I came out, I saw Dr. Philip buying tickets to go to Delhi. So I know.
Dr. Skeet and Greg put their credit cards and put it on board.
Yes, and yeah, I remember. Yeah.
Abasari, for all the people from Goa, I've been to Goa. It's an extremely fantastic place. You have missed out on it. And I hadn't been to the Taj Mahal, so I was very happy to go there. But you have missed out on Goa.
I saw pictures in movies and everywhere for Goa, but I don't know, there was a fascination to me, like I had to go to Taj Mahal. Like it was a craze, like we had to see that. And I think it's really worthful to see the 8th wonder in the world. So it's really worth it.
I think next time, Yachneet, we have to make our trip to Goa because they have to taste the fish. And Goa has the tastiest saltfish in the world. That people who love saltfish, they go there and they say it's the most tastiest. So we'll have a competition.
We'll take Paramita's word for it because Bengalis know what this fish is.
Fish is all about.
We're gonna have Hemwati, you know. Hemwati said we had New York, you know, you want to close it off for us in York, and then let's give us 30 seconds. I know you talked to us already, but let's give us 30 seconds of your take on the experience at the Ecovillage and India.
Thanks, Dr. Phil. So once again, I'm truly grateful to everybody who made this trip possible. And as all the panelists and as Apsari mentioned, that we didn't really know anybody on the trip, some of the people we met at the airport. And through those 14 days, we've developed such a great connection to everybody, and it's lifelong friendships, long-lasting friendships. And we were not only involved in academic learning, it was social, it was cultural. And as I mentioned before, it was even more meaningful for me because I have roots in India, and being able to see my people in a sense and connecting with them. And it was such a warm and welcoming environment. Everybody was very nice, and being able to connect with people in Mumbai, New Delhi as well. The trip to Taj Mahal was amazing. And also the skills that we learned in classrooms, being able to apply there as well. And we also practice true sustainability. So it's for me, as I did, if I were to describe the trip in one word, I would say transformative, because it helped me grow in so many aspects, academic, personal growth, every aspect. So truly grateful again, once again, and happy to be part of this program again, once again, and see all of you. It's truly amazing.
She didn't tell us the whole story, but she bought a lot of saris over there too. That's why she was shopping with saris to her mom. So that's why she had so much fun. While she's doing backpack with us in Mountain, she's shopping with saris and doing science at the same time. So thank you, Asari. And let's hear from Kamal. I mean, thank you, Hamwati, sorry. Thank you, Hamwati, for the spirited discussion. And Kamal, you're going to close it off from Medgar College. And Kamal is in Belize. And I owe him 2 recommendation letters. I owe you 2 recommendations. I didn't forget, okay? I got it. This weekend, I'm going to close it off. I'm going to write them for you this weekend. I promise you.
No issue. For me,
So close it off. Let's go out.
Just finding out that Govardhan Ecovillage was a place that it existed, that it was this totally unknown place to me, implementing all these technologies, it's to me, the place was like a pioneer, and that really was a highlight of India for me. I mean, besides the mountain climbing that the woman had us cut short, but I was just fascinated by everything. Meeting people like Diego and seeing how he lived, people like Iris, who just taught us how to use and implement different technologies, Nimai's vast well of information. It was definitely a transformative experience that allowed me to reevaluate how I saw things, coming from living here in Belize and also in New York. India truly defined what sustainability can be or could be, and how we should go about living our day-to-day lives. So I thank you all for including me and giving me the opportunity to go with you and bond with everybody and, form sort of a family relationship with you all.
Kamal was awesome. Kamal took care of all of us. Provost Eric Kerry, Kamal took care of every one of us on that trip. He was the one, every time Kamal was there to help us all. So we were so happy to have him there. He took care of all the professors, all the students. He was amazing. I'm telling you, he was just simply amazing on that trip. Right?
Actually, Kamal,
I used to thank Derek
planned for Belize.
Huh?
And because of the pandemic, we couldn't go to Belize. I mean, Kamal made me, we were going to go spend some time in Belize, meet the people there. And we were so looking forward to it. But then, bam, COVID came and everything went for a toss. But it's on my to-do list.
But I think we all have to go to India very soon, because cases of COVID has spiked up in New Jersey. Just got a text message. Yes, like there are 20 admissions in my husband's hospital. So anyway, I think India's cases are going down. So destination India. I will ask, I got some messages from my students, and also over here, they're asking like, how do we know about the program? So if Neil, Derek, or any one of you can say that before we close, that where they will look for the program.
We send a broadcast program when we have these things available. We broadcast like a BCC broadcast, or we ask them. We kind of have a template, and we share it with Medgar College and the other schools so they can simulate broadcast those programs to the students, and they can participate. We take students from all backgrounds, not only science students. We had students. Is Daniela here? Daniela is here.
Yeah, she was on.
She was here before. Yeah.
Daniela is a human services major. Lisa is a business major now at Baruch College. Faith was a health major, so we had a lot of science. Grisel's chemistry, Apsari's chemistry, Dawson is engineering. So students came from all backgrounds, and we don't just discriminate against anybody. And
Neil, I think you can even add that since you didn't get time, we also have a hospital and a nursing training academy. And we were planning to, have healthcare also sewn in, so that you could have like hands-on experiences with public health, pandemic health, and all those things as well. We have full-fledged hospital and research as well.
Yes. Thank you for mentioning that, Yachin. So GV is a really great place. There's a lot of opportunities for students. We have the connectors to help it. As I close the program off, I remember this image of the kids in the Gurukul orphanage. Great kids, and I think next a couple months later, I think Nimai sent us something. Nimai sent us some slides. He sent us this actually. We donated drones to the kids, no waste. We had these drones in New York City being wasted, not opened, And kids over here want to play PlayStation. They want drones. So we don't waste it taking it to India. And next month after, Nimai, Leela send us some video of the kids flying the drones. So for us, that's a culmination of this humanity. We can share with each other. We learn, we give to them, and we got from the Ecovillage as well, equally as much as probably more, because we got more spiritual and more humanistic as well from learning from Ecovillage. So and we came back. We got some rocks. Paramita made sure, Dr. Sen is a geologist, so she made sure we collected all the rocks from India. Don't tell the government we get in trouble. But we found some rocks. We found rocks in the mountains, Paramita, which belongs in the ocean. This rock here, which was Paramita, went to your color. You want to talk for 20 seconds on Paramita?
Yeah, actually, this is our collection back to CUNY. Thanks to all the students who had a pleasurable but at the same time hectic trip, climbing the Western Ghats. So they brought these rocks. Most of these rocks are actually belong to about 65 million years ago, because in mountain we found a basalt rock which belongs to the ocean. So we have plans. Because of COVID, we couldn't finish it, to keep it, keep it in our lab and show the process of upliftment. That's one of our lab, with rocks collected by the students themselves.
Again, this is really amazing, because this rock we found in the mountains belongs in the ocean floor.
Because it is basaltic rocks, and inside you will see volcanic material. That is a black thing. So there are a lot of volcanic eruption that actually happened in the ocean during the upliftment. And this actually, it can be traced to the, to the eradication of, or for the mass extinction of the dinosaur. The fifth one, KT extinction.
Thank you, Professor Sen, for giving that exercise with all of us to bring rocks, heavy rocks back from the mountains. It was awesome. And we came
thanks to you also, Dr. Philip. You carried a lot of rocks, and Derek. Yes, definitely.
Kamau did a lot, Kamau. But we came
Kamau was the first one to come and give me the rocks, yes.
We came back to New York City and we continued the programs. We had a India Books Corner, thanks to Consul General Sandy Chakravarti. We have owe him a lot of credit. And Dr. Mr. Shatru Sinha, the Deputy Consul General on the back there, and the Indian Consul General's office. They can open it up to us. We can walk in there like that's part of our homes, We want an event to take place. If the Action wants an event, where do we go? We can go to the Consul General to have a broadcast or interview. Greg was there as well. So we really thank the Consul General for really helping us and donating books and bringing India to New York City in more ways than one. So just like to thank everybody for taking part today. It was a great time. And, it's Yashin, you want to close on the Ecovillage? Say closing part, and Derek, Greg.
Yes, I'd like to thank everyone. It's been it's been an amazing opportunity to be connected year after year. I mean, month after month, we don't forget. It's like, for me personally, CUNY has become like home. I think after the trip, I've been like 4 or 5 times to New York, and I make sure that every time, I catch up with Neil, Paramita, Derek, everyone. We shared amazing dinners, and we plan how to take this program more sustainably and be able to touch as many lives as we can. And like everyone said, it's all about touching lives and being a global citizen. And like Derek says, when you come to India, India comes with you. So thanks everyone. It was really humbling experience to share and to relive those amazing experiences.
I think this was really and truly a great experience. This session was very informative, and one thing I would definitely like to see is the expansion of this program, whereby we have students from every campus at CUNY represented on any one of the trips that the study abroad trips to India, because as the students rightly said, it's a wealth of experience that they gain socially, culturally, spiritually, and otherwise. And as Yashni mentioned, in terms of the expansion for the nursing, the education, the medicals for students who are interested in medicine and the allied health, that's a great opportunity for students to be able to take advantage of and to see what they do. And of course, you have great universities like IIT Bombay, for example, where in fact, most of the technicians or most of the engineers who work in Google and Amazon and Twitter and Microsoft, they recruit directly from IIT Bombay. In fact, they have some of them who are in very high positions in all of the companies that I just mentioned here in this little spiel that I'm giving here. So again, the opportunity is vast, and we want to continue to be a part of this. Medgar College, we want to continue to partner with Bronx Community College and every other institution in CUNY to make this a reality, because we believe in sustainability, we believe in experiential learning, we believe in opportunities of our students, and we want our students to have these experiences because it goes a long way. And I would be remiss if I believe it was Grisel. She had gotten opportunities to, of course, opportunities before her, just by mentioning that she had these study abroad experiences, and doors were opened up for her. So we do see the value in this, and we want all students to be a part of this. So one of the goals, Neil, for us is to tap into every CUNY campus and get at least one student representative to go to these trips with us, whether it's Australia, which we're going to go back to, India. We feel it's going to be very helpful.
Very nice. Very nice. Yeah, I mean, yes, it was a wonderful journey. I mean, always, I mean, I'll say, I remember, the 2 weeks, but the memories are still there. Thanks to everybody for taking India into your heart when you came back. And thanks to Yachnit and all the team, Nimai, Rakesh, Manisha, and the rest of the team in Ecovillage. And thanks to Gauranga Das for his leadership in the entire thing. Aditi, we are looking forward to meet you. And definitely, Sunej will be a part of the trip this time. And as Derek has just mentioned, if we can take 1 or 2 students from each campus, that will be an awesome thing. And I will ask Dr. or Provost Okereke to, end this program by giving his few words.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you for the honor. I had stayed till the end because I enjoyed the program. And as I said before, I find the need for us, to use this medium, this initiative to start tackling the climate change issues that we have. It's a very huge issue. I know there are denials, if very big governments deny climate change, that makes it more and more difficult to do. But, for us, and for our demography, for our population, really, that are greatly impacted by all these adverse changes, this program is so useful, giving them the experience. I heard our student, Kamal, talk about his transformative experience, can you imagine that, the experience that he received, what the opportunity to even participate, this is an opportunity that he wouldn't have gotten before. And so that makes it very great. And I want to thank Neil, I want to thank all of you here, and of course, Derek. We are committed to this. President Crew is a very huge part of this initiative of study abroad, of doing things, this kind of exchange, students coming together and, interfacing with faculty, experiential learning is something we are big on, and something CUNY is very big on doing that too. So I want to thank you, and definitely I'll participate, and definitely I'll come to India. I'll go to anywhere the next time this conference is organized.
We are looking forward to it.
Welcome. Thank you. We'll be there.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Sir.
Bye-bye.
All right.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Greg, thank you for coming on with us.
Yes.
Thank you, Greg. Thank you.
Thank you,
everyone.
Thank you, Neil. Thank you. Yes, thank you for organizing this.
Thank you, Govardhan Prabhu. Thank you, Anmol. Thank you, Aditi.
Thank you, everyone.
Gauranga Prabhu is already gone.
Thank you, everyone. Yeah.
Thank you so much, everyone. Yes.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
And thank you, Neil, for hosting this. And
yes, being the architect.
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you, Pramita. Good job by everybody. Pramita, Derek, Aditi. Great job, Yashni.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
So much.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Neil.
Thank you, Sunaj.
Thank you, Sunej. Yes.
So thank you, Michael, for coming on. Also.
Thank you, Sunesh.
Great program. Love it.
Thank you,
Bye,
Derek.
Neil.
Okay, bye, Greg.
Bye.
Michael.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Greg. Bye-bye.